Okay, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to another edition of Smudcast. And we are looking at ATATChan. He made a video about 2 days ago talking about the fight scene between Kylo Ren and Rey in the Rise of Skywalker. And oh boy, his expertise and understanding of fight scenes are just fantastic. They're always fun to watch, and we love commenting on them. So thanks for joining us. We have Glib, Dunn, and Voice in the Radio. Thanks for joining everyone today. Thank you very much. Hope everyone's cool. Everyone's chill. Everyone's having a great time.
Yeah.
Whoa, let's go.
Oops. Sorry.
Oh, we're starting, are we?
I guess we were. I don't.
That was
Sorry.
pretty cool.
Sorry.
I like that.
Who pressed play? I don't know.
Hey, everybody, welcome back. Let's go!
That was my bad. Sometimes it doesn't start unless I press play and I'm like three seconds behind, like half a second behind you guys. So sorry, my bad. Jumped again.
Just to bring some context, we did do a review of ATATChan's previous video, which was the fight scene in The Last Jedi, which was oh so special. I mean, this guy counted the number of cuts, just the camera, just to show how many there were. I don't know why he did that.
Right.
But he did. It was special.
That was a weird one. It's so hard for me to remember exactly which episode is which episode unless there's like some notable memory, like a meme or something. Because so many of these like blend into each other with arguments.
Yeah, every defense of The Last Jedi is always a joke. It's always this ridiculous headcanon. I invented it. I interpret it this way. This is why it's good.
Exactly.
Which is, if they were to argue with together, like all these people who are fans of the show, they'd be like, that's not why I like it. I like it because of this. It's like, oh, really? I never thought of that. There'll be these random headcanon, head-scratching moments. You're like, oh, yeah, I didn't ever think of it that way. It's like, yeah, because no one else would have. It's in your head. No one could possibly have thought what's in your head. So, yeah, it's just fun. It's just fun to watch these people go on and on about what they think is good.
And then also being surprised when other people do not think like they did in their head.
Yeah.
This is why
you didn't think exactly the same as me?
This is why you're a toxic man baby or whatever.
Yeah.
You don't have any taste. You don't have any imagination. You have to use your imagination when you're watching a movie.
To fill in
Hello, everyone.
Fill in the gaps made by bad screenwriters.
Well, yeah, in this case, it's figuring out what's in Rey's head when she's swinging her sword. This is what ATATChan likes to do. It's amazing. He's so into the movie. He knows exactly what's going on in Rey's head. It's great. He can divine mental states and thoughts of another person. It's amazing. Not only another person, a fictional character. It's just brilliant.
Who just swings her sword around like it's a baseball bat with no grace or anything and should be dead. And yet her opponent is as dumb as she is.
It's special. It's a special gift he has. We gotta appreciate his abilities here. So we don't have them. So we have to sit in awe and go, wow, where'd he come up with that one? I gotta watch that again. Of course, I don't want to watch the Rise of Skywalker any more than I have to, which was once. So
yeah, exactly.
I want to see a version of this where we're talking about the film and it's like, and in Rey's head, she's thinking about what kind of toppings she'll get on her pizza when she's done here.
Can't believe you've done this.
I can't believe you've done this. I don't understand. I'm the Mary Sue.
It's not that far removed, honestly. It's really not that far removed.
I swung my sword. I should win.
Apparently, Rey has Sith powers when she swings her sword. So.
Yeah. Have you seen the one where people talk about that you have to have the Force to turn on a lightsaber?
Yeah.
Just quick cut to everyone who doesn't have the Force turning on a lightsaber.
Yep.
Yeah, that's such BS. That's so BS.
Finn
turns the thing on.
But not only that, in the Rise of Skywalker, she hands the lightsaber to Poe when they're in the cave, so she can heal the snake monster. She's just like, "Here, hold this. I need the light." And Poe goes, "Yeah, sure, I'll hold it."
I do know you require skill and attunement as a Jedi to wield your lightsaber better. That's why.
Absolutely.
There's all that.
What about General Grievous?
He didn't have the Force, yeah.
Robotic
go.
enhancements.
Wasn't there that guy in?
guess.
Isn't there that guy in the Clone Wars, the fucking Mandalorian as well?
The
I don't
dark
know.
saber, right?
Yeah,
The dork saber.
the Dork
For all of
Saber.
the, for all of the fanboys that need everything to be super cool.
The Pre-Vizsla, I think his name was.
Yeah.
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 And that was first introduced in Rebels, I think.
No, it was in Clone Wars first, and they brought it over. And then because Dave Filoni directed The Mandalorian, it's in The Mandalorian as well.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the dark
Outta
saber's in The
here.
Mandalorian. I don't know if you've seen The Mandalorian, but the last episode, the villain in it crashes in his TIE fighter, and then there's sort of one of those after credits things where it's like the smoldering wreckage of the fighter, and he cuts his way out of the wreckage with a lightsaber, and it's the dark saber, and everyone's like,
No! The dark saber is a fucking stupid idea.
Oh my god!
Get out of
I
here.
can't believe you just said that. Why?
Oh my
It
god.
is.
Lightsabers should just come in every color.
It kind of is. It kind of is dumb.
Mace Windu has a purple one. Why can't there
Mace
be a
Windu
black
has a purple one because George didn't want to say to Sam no. That's why he has a purple one.
But it was like, I want to be able to make out who I am in the Jedi battle, and George didn't go, you're the only black guy there.
It's just,
Yeah, I want a purple
the dark
one.
saber. The dark saber is like a super special lightsaber that is ancient and old and has all these mystical properties to it, and
like-
it's special and specific and da da da. And I'm just like, okay, thank you, Dave. I know you want to be special too. That's
It's
not
like-
what makes shit special.
It was funny. It was like he goes to George Lucas. I want a purple lightsaber, and George goes, "No, they come in blue, green, or red." And
Yeah,
Sam
because
was like,
you know
"No, but I
why?
want a purple one."
Because that's the color of cathode rays, RGB.
Yeah,
And green is supposed to be in between red and blue, which is why it's kind of ambiguous, and which is why in Return of the Jedi, Luke has the black outfit with the green lightsaber. It's supposed to be more ambiguous than the white and the blue.
then why do some people have yellow?
Because the EU, just like it's the exact same thing that happened with Green Lantern. There wasn't always every color lantern, but then they went, hey, you know, what about all the other colors? And that's
What
what,
about
happens
Blue
every
Lantern?
time. Yeah, what about Indigo Lantern? What about Passion? And it's like, okay,
Bisexual lighting.
so now all the yeah, exactly, bisexual lantern, who is the purple pink lighting. That's the power of gayness, and it's Captain Planet now, and we have to combine together to create what is it? The Captain Lantern.
Right.
There you go.
They defined green as the power of life, which is like, really? That's kind of generic. Great. What about the other colors? Like, blue is hope, and
Compassion.
it's all
To be
these
fair,
strange colors. Yeah.
And then it goes down to black and white, which is about like the cataclysmic death versus life thing or whatever. It's
Yeah.
stupid. It's like, look, Green Lantern was cool, but now that you introduced all these other lanterns, because you had the Sinestro thing with yellow, which kind of makes sense, and then red is rage, and it's just you're creating a system that's like extrapolating what could be based on what other colors exist that haven't been used yet, and you're trying to fill in a slot. And it's not like it's justified that the entire rainbow exists. It's not like it's justified that Rey has a yellow lightsaber or whatever. And even
Right.
if it is, that's an ad hoc, after the fact idea that you're adding on. That's why I hate the dark saber, because it's like it could just be a lightsaber. The only reason why it's a dark saber is because it's cool that it's black and old. And like I hate shit like that. I hate that you add in like it's like it reminds me of a video game. Like why not just give Rey Thunder Fury, Blessed Blade of the Wind?
However,
Wow.
in terms of like the color of a lightsaber affecting like the universe is very small, so
Yeah, I mean, if they wanted to,
I wouldn't take a huge issue with it,
if
honestly.
no, I'm not. It's not a huge issue. It's just a sign to me of how things are written. It's
Yeah.
like, okay, there's a lightsaber. We know that these colors already exist. How can I be creative? I'll just use another color. And then that creates a whole extrapolation of logic. Like, okay, well, the dark saber comes from here, and that's why the crystal's black and all. And it's like, well, you're just trying to look cooler than the stuff that already exists. Why not just play into what already exists?
Well, then we'd go nowhere.
Maybe you've already reached the maximum of the story, and extrapolating dark sabers is not a positive step. Like, why not? You know, what is it? Like a neutral saber? Why we can have any kind of saber
white
that we
saber.
want. Yeah. Well, Ahsoka has a white
Yeah,
saber.
those exist. Yeah.
Yeah, and the white saber comes from the prototype. Well, not the prototype, but like the concept art, the original sabers that were going to be carried because stormtroopers had shields and stuff, and then they added the color to it. When George had the red, green, and blue thing, it was supposed to be so that there's like thematic differentiation. Once you make it so that red is like red, obviously, and so many things can be extrapolated as evil, or it's blood, it's danger, it's like the socialist color, it's the Nazi color, whatever. And then, you know, that goes well with the black of the Empire versus the more earthy colors of the Jedi, which is, and blue and green are like natural colors of the water and plants and stuff like that. Red is kind of blood, and it's not really common in nature, aside from like warning coloration and certain like iron composite like amounts. So what I'm trying to get at here is that when you add in stuff like orange and yellow, at face value, you're like, what does that mean? And then you have to come up with a lore reason, like, oh, it's the Jedi Sentinels that had the orange. And it's like, that doesn't have anything to do really with the plot of the story. That's just so that you can have orange and try and justify it. And that to me is like besides the point. That's all that I'm trying to get to.
I was remembering the classes in KOTOR. There was the Guardian, which was basically the fighter class, the Consular, and the Sentinel. They were basically the Force user, then the one was a blend of the two. And they said this is the color of the Guardian or the Consular, and you're like, oh, cool. But you could still choose your own color of your crystal. You could still do that. And equip whatever you want. I'm cool with that.
And I would not want to say to somebody, oh, you're making a Jedi video game, don't have purple blades, don't have whatever color blades. What I'm saying is that putting it into the main canon tier after the fact and not explaining like, okay, well then where do the blue and green come from? And like, that's not in the movies. It has to be in the EU. And then you come up with Ilum, and you do all of this lore building that's supplementary so that you can have an aesthetic choice. Now, in a video game, I'm all for that. But when it comes to storytelling, I feel like you should build that up ahead of time or just not expand on
it. I disagree. That's world building to me. You expand upon something you haven't seen before. As long as it works, like as long as no one ever said Jedi lightsabers can only be green or blue, then you haven't contradicted anything by saying yes, this one is orange.
Well, it's like, why don't they use other colors, or why? Then it's not explained. It's not really in the world building. And then when they
Mace Windu is purple, so they obviously do.
Right. Well, what I'm saying is that here's the thing. If it was relevant and like Mace Windu had this purple lightsaber, and you're like, okay, well, why is it purple? They introduced an aesthetic element that isn't explained. It's just now an open-ended interpretation. They never, and I kind of regret that they never did this, but I feel like they should have had a scene where Anakin was building his lightsaber. And we can see why the crystals were a certain. So if the purple crystal, maybe it comes from Mace Windu's homeworld or something, and that's why it's purple. That what I'm saying is that it's not plot relevant. It's lore that was built after they introduced an aesthetic idea. And I'm saying that the logical operation of the way that my brain works and wants to take in the information is to have the reason before you have the aesthetic choice put in there, instead of thinking about it after the fact. Like, oh, okay, I'm going to add into the lore book or into the novelization why this thing is, and I'll put a line in there. If it's going to be relevant or if it's going to be changing aesthetically, then it should be mentioned at least in the plot somehow, or it should inform the audience. They shouldn't be left guessing, unless that's the point, which I don't see why.
Yeah. Anyway, we've been rambling on about the color of lightsabers and what that means, and it's purely aesthetic. There's no actual lore reasoning unless you guys actually go into the books.
Right.
But that's neither relevant to the conversation or just fun to talk about. But we're going to start with Mr. ATATChan and his wonderful world of fight scenes in the best Star Wars movie ever, Episode 9.
Absolutely.
So much to talk about. Such great stuff.
Today we are going to be discussing the final lightsaber duel between Kylo Ren and Rey on the wreckage of the Death Star. I've gotten a lot of requests about this battle, and even though I do have my own hangups with this film itself, the duels were not really one of those hangups. Rey and Kylo beating it out on the carcass of the Death Star surrounded by unrelenting waves was probably one of the coolest things J.J. Abrams directed in this film.
Okay.
And although we don't have an audio commentary...
It looked good.
Very cool set. Very, very impressive, yes.
Too bad LiteratureDevil isn't here. I could make it was cool, Anakin.
This was cool.
Very
It was
cool.
Very cool.
Why do you sound like George Takei?
Oh my, Ray!
Oh my.
Did you see how cool Kylo Ren was?
Oh yes. I'm in Star Wars now.
Oh God, George Takei in Star Wars, that would be ridiculous.
He is in Star
I
Wars.
came for you, Mandalorian.
He is in Star Wars. He plays a villain in the Clone Wars that we skipped over.
Yeah, exactly. He's one of those voices. I don't remember which villain it's called. though.
There's the one where they have the crash and Anakin gets
Oh.
injured, and there's those stupid bird wolf creatures and
yes.
the weird monkeys that roll around.
Yeah.
The second episode of that, George Takei plays the villain who invades the world because he's looking for an unsophisticated planet to test his new weapon that is designed to just wipe out biological life.
Sounds like
And
my kind of Thanos.
This fat what are the name of the guys for the Trade Federation again? What race are they?
Nemoidians.
Yeah, this really fat Nemoidian played by George Takei comes in and he's like, I cannot wait to test this weapon on the colonists.
It will be amazing.
The droids will be unharmed.
There is no Captain Kirk to stop me.
All right, shall we continue?
Okay, make it so.
Yet for this duel, I definitely get what JJ was trying to demonstrate and accomplish. And personally,
Do you now? Because I have no idea.
I don't know either. It's so badly choreographed because they had no time to do crap.
I mean, yeah.
But he just knows. He just knows. He has this insight into the workings of J.J. Abrams' mind. It's amazing.
J.J. Abrams has no depth or anything to his filmmaking or writing.
It's
Neither
really
does Chris
disappointing.
Terrio.
What's the deepest film that J.J. Abrams has ever made?
Oh,
Like,
boy.
I don't want to go on topic, but that's just what my brain thinks of.
Star
Yeah.
Trek
Super
Beyond.
8, Super 8 maybe?
So the
Maybe.
ET ripoff.
Maybe Mission
Yeah.
Impossible 3?
Don't rip off
Bob's-
blah blah blah. Rip off the important stuff. That's what JJ said.
What can I steal from next?
Yeah, that's basically how his brain works. And then I think it's so funny that people are like, "Oh, JJ, he started to dress like George Lucas and Spielberg, and he's got these glasses that make him look like a nerd. Let's put him in charge of everything." And then he's just this massive rip-off artist.
Yeah. Not quite as bad as David Benioff, but pretty close.
Oh no, at least he knows like how a movie is. Yeah, what a
how
movie is
structure
supposed to.
work.
Benioff is like, how do I turn a good story into art house filth?
Yeah, kind of.
That do be how it is.
Mm-hmm.
It do we do.
Yeah.
I think he delivered an interesting duel to say the least, even if it ended in a rather unconventional way. Now,
I love that. It's interesting. The most
How
generic
is
thing you
it
could ever
interesting?
say about anything.
How is it?
It is the most vague, middle of the road way of describing anything. To call it interesting. Yeah. Corn in my stool is interesting.
The way that Jeffrey Dahmer's mind worked was really interesting.
That's kind of... There's a very good reason why the word interesting is banned in most podcasts, because it's a filler word that doesn't do anything.
That was the one thing we would joke about in creative writing class. I think for the entire 2 years, it was just like, okay, guys, stop saying that word for at least a day, and we'll come back tomorrow and we'll look at our scripts again, because it was getting stupid because we couldn't figure out some stuff. It was so weird, but we were compelled because we didn't know exactly what this person was trying to say. We're like, oh, it's
Interesting.
it's really cerebral, and it's, make me think about stuff. I want to learn more, So we're trying to come up with
me
different
think about
adjectives and
stuff.
descriptors. Yeah.
Yeah.
Very interesting.
Very
Yeah.
interesting.
I fully
Yes, Watson. Very interesting. Yes. That's what makes it interesting, is that it has interest in it that we could be interested in. Ah, yes, of course, my dear Sherlock. Go on with your interests.
You're sounding like Maggie May. Oh no. A equals A, guys. Like, oh yeah, that's good. Yeah.
Just why? These guys need to experience Maggie Mayfish.
No. We do it so you don't have to.
Yeah, exactly. Let's not do that. Let's get back to ATAT Daddy. Dad chat.
Dad bitch.
Will you call me Daddy?
George, no.
Welcome to George Takai's ATAT Chat Daddy.
Hello.
All right, this is going too far. Let's get back to how interesting JJ is.
There are some criticisms for this lightsaber duel, which I will address right now. The main one I hear is that it appears as if Rey and Kylo are merely swinging their lightsabers like baseball bats.
Didn't you just say that?
And Dunn is like, I know the future.
Called it.
Another victory for the evil side.
Score 1 for the toxic brood.
Yeah.
Check.
10 points to Slytherin.
It doesn't change the fact that it's accurate.
I mean, it is quite clearly an observation.
Yeah.
Yes, they look like they're swinging their sabers around like baseball bats. What is the meaning behind the baseball bat technique?
I find it very interesting.
Interesting technique.
What kind of technique is this, Ray? It's an interesting technique. A story for another time.
Fuck.
Yeah.
Fucking hell.
You hold it like a club, but you swing it like a sword. Like what? It's a lightsaber.
My name's Jedi Master Tyrone from down on the block. You gotta swing that shit, boy.
Pow!
I think was it Shad was talking about when he talked about lightsabers. If you treat it more like a fencing weapon, it's much more efficient, much more effective, as opposed to swinging it like a katana or a club. Because all you have to do is tap someone, and they're dead. So
Yep.
I can't get over Shad's turn it off and turn it back on thing now. That just sticks out in my head. Now every lightsaber fight I think of that I imagine if I were to coordinate it, I imagine lightsabers shutting off and turning on again, like in rapid succession. How cool that would be to see them clash and then shut off and then mixed it up with force powers. There are so many cool ways to do lightsaber battles, and they do not do that.
I disagree.
They don't even try.
I think that would be really boring to just have two people standing there, just focusing on each other's stick, just turning it on and off.
No. It would be
done.
No. It would be like that you face off with somebody and you can have it on or you could have it off, and then as you are slashing and going back and forth, it like resets much more frequently. So you get these short bursts of attacks with lights and like like it'd be so awesome.
If I had the Force, I'd just have 6 lightsabers and I'd hold them out in front of me with the Force and I'd spin them around me like a propeller.
Right, and then the weakness for that could be you're so distracted that you can't use the Force against other Force moves. Yeah.
Because I'm holding several different things and moving them around very quickly. I don't even have to hold any lightsabers. I'm just holding them out with the Force. And I think they just sort of slash forward like General Grievous.
I think they use like one lightsaber toss in this movie. I don't think they even think about it that much. And I don't think that they use force powers at any point?
Yes.
They use it to stop each other's lightsabers.
And
when was that?
I guess force jump.
Yes, force jump.
Oh,
yeah.
Well,
they use the force jump. And wait, and this is just T-Ross, right? Where these things happen?
Yeah.
Okay, so in the other movies, none of it happens. Okay, so
and
God bless America. These are terrible.
Razor Dick and Force pushes Finn like 50 feet across the wreckage of the Death Star when Finn sort of runs up. He's like, "Way!" She's like, "No!"
And I mean, she gets thrown against the tree, right, and has her back shattered or whatever, but not really.
7, yeah.
Right. Okay. So there is like 1 or 2 uses of it, I guess, but it's like they don't. None of the fight scenes in these movies are better than the PT fights, and that's really disappointing. The PT has much better choreography.
I would agree.
To that I say sure, some of it looks like that. It's definitely reminiscent of an original trilogy style lightsaber duel.
No,
And I think that's
no,
on purpose. However,
no. There's a huge difference.
Well, it is like A New Hope. It's that careless.
Yeah.
There's a form
Okay.
to Luke. Or he's returning to the same position with his hands every single time. Yes, it looks like they're clacking sticks, but he's continue. I don't know what that stance is where he holds the saber pointed to the sky, down sort of like middle of his chest. But he's returning to that position almost every single time.
The guy that did the choreography for the OT was a fencer, so he used some two-handed techniques and he used some fencing techniques and blended them together into a theatrical style. So he's done a lot of work.
It's much more, and he's got Luke's got a fighting stance there. He's got his right leg in front, his left leg back, so he's braced if anyone hits him. It's not like Rey where she just stands sort of like low squat and swings 180 in front of herself.
Yep.
Yeah. And like
It's pathetic. He's what he is.
Feet parallel.
Yeah. Bob Anderson, the guy who even did the choreography for Darth Vader, and actually was the guy in the suit, did Lord of the Rings as well as Princess Bride in terms of choreography.
Yep, he's a legend.
Didn't know that.
Yep.
Yeah, Bob Anderson's great.
I think the majority of people who have ever watched The Princess Bride got into sword fights or stunts just because of the fight scenes in Princess Bride. They just went, wow, that's amazing. So
Yeah.
who cares if the swords are bending and flishing and flipping around? It doesn't matter. It's amazing.
Well, it's also insulting to Bob Anderson's work to go like, oh yeah, totally. T-Ross was just as good as that. No, maybe style-wise you could shoot for that. But when he says OT fight, I just think of Obi-Wan clacking swords as an old man.
Yeah.
With that weird little half spin he does.
Yeah.
Yeah. You can't wind off.
I can
Master of Evil,
spin. I have my legs still.
I much prefer the reimagined scene.
Oh, where the guy who
fight.
did the deep fake.
That was crazy. That was over
was
the
so
top.
good.
Yeah, that was a little
It was over the top. It was over the top, but it was awesome.
Well, that's like the Count Dooku fight is like that.
Yeah.
He obviously realized the same thing. He wanted, George wanted something a little better. He couldn't do it then because Obi-Wan's knees hurt.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Saber duel, and I think that's on purpose. However, I took their baseball bat symmetrical fighting style to represent their dyad connection. And
Oh!
It's a dyad, guys. It's a dyad.
So Dyad.
Fucking this fucking excuse.
Because they're a dyad, therefore they're symmetrical.
What does that even mean?
And their choreography sucks. Like, in the technical aspect, it sucks.
How are you defending this movie? How? Why?
How?
What does it mean to be a dyad? That it's the roll the cup is out excuse for everything they do together.
Before it was the Force, now it's a dyad. How can Rey do this? She is the Force. She can do anything.
Kylo asked Rey to bring him a cup of coffee, and she brought him tea instead. Why did that happen? It's the dyad.
Did it hurt?
I knew you wanted a tea, even though you asked for coffee, because we're a dyad. I love you forever.
like this is the state of romance in fucking Destiny and shit and storytelling. It's like horrible.
How are they able to traverse thousands and thousands of light years and fight telepathically and all this stuff? It's like, a dyad?
Oh, right, that makes sense. I know exactly what that means when you say they're a dyad. Okay.
Ah, a dyad.
It heals my fingertips. Ooh, yeah, very juicy dyad powers there.
Why didn't Palpatine get out a lightsaber?
Why do you keep sucking their force? Like, oh, this is really tasty. I shall steal more from you. It's like, nope, I'm going to just stop.
Yep.
Got tired.
Snoke was intended to be Palpatine the whole time.
Yeah.
Fuck.
They were a dyad.
They were a dyad.
Sloping
Hey, Dad!
Palpatine.
You're a Dyad!
So stupid.
I forgot to read a super chat from Alexander. Sorry about that. Oh boy, ATATChan. Oh boy, indeed. Yes, it is. It's the man himself. Mad Courier 6. Oh, the TROS is real interesting, all right. Yeah, it's just a gift. It's just a fun, interesting gift. It's like going to Christmas and you have that mystery box and you sit there, you shake that box, you're like, oh, this is an interesting box. I don't know what's in it. And you open it up and it's like, oh, it's a pile of crap. You're like, that's interesting.
I was thinking Scorpion.
It's a Dyad.
Torch too.
It's a Dyad crap.
You open the mystery box and it's a Dyad. It's like you're looking at it and you're like, "Thank you, Uncle JJ. What is this?"
You open the
It's a
box,
mystery box, right? You know, when I was a kid, I had this magic box, and that's where I got my storytelling from. Because when I was a kid, I always wondered what was in the box, but I never opened the box. And you know, just like stories, you should just finish them 2/3 of the way through. Answers are for sequels, and I don't make those.
You open the box. It's just a sticky note inside. It says, "I owe you one Dyad. Love, JJ."
Oh.
Yeah. You open the box and it's a picture of Ryan Johnson holding up the thing that
Your
says your snow theory sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Your Dyad sucks.
You die.
Dyad theory sucks.
You open the box and then you open the box and then a miniature spaceship flown by Holdo goes right through your head.
I would have loved to have seen Ryan do episode 9. Just the mess he left himself. What would he have done with it?
Yes. That would have been
You
awesome.
wrecked the room. You got to clean it up now, buddy. Just to see what comes up in his mind. It's like, well, I broke this and I broke that. I killed this person. I killed that person. What can I do next? JJ? Help?
JJ, help!
Great shot, kid. That was 1 in a million.
1 in a billion in terms of Rey hitting the free TIE fighters at the same time.
It's like that trench run scene. It's like if Luke is what do you call it? Luke is Ryan Johnson and Han Solo is J.J. Abrams, and like Luke is there and he's like, I'm trying to blow up the Death Star, and the Death Star is Star Wars, and then Darth Vader is like the Phantom Menace. We're like, stop him! He's gonna blow up Star Wars. and then JJ comes in out of nowhere. He's like, all right, kid, you got it. Let's blow this thing and go home.
And then he gets suckered back into it after Colin Trevorrow gets booted.
Yeah, and Wedge is Kathleen Kennedy.
Yep.
That's an interesting association. Okay. Gotta think about that one for a second. Oh, she's still alive.
Yeah.
Somewhere.
Star Wars is like a Tums festival.
Oh, I was about to read that.
Every day here, it's like a Tums festival. That's a deep reference.
Okay, let's keep going. Win it in.
That inability to truly outmaneuver one another. Sure, Kylo Ren is clearly the more skilled duelist in this fight, but my
No.
point stands.
Why is he the most skilled?
No,
Ray had a
no,
year
you-
of training. Come on, a year of training. That's a lot.
They, like in terms of like technical skill, they both look equally bad.
The hot take.
Yes. Like Adam Driver seems like he decreased in skill over the course of the movies. Like he is completely in control in
And then he's
The
not.
Force
and then he's
Awakens.
even less.
yeah, and this it's just so dumb.
It's almost
But,
like he
like-
gave up.
Yeah, he just seems like yeah.
You know what I wish? I wish they explained his frickin' sword. Why is it so jaggedy? Why is the blade not clean? What's the story behind that? Can someone tell me? I'm sure there's a lore reason, but could the movie at least have told me, like, why is it so rickety? What happened?
Well, they didn't even bother telling us who the Knights of Ren were.
It means lightsaber.
It means it's a cool red lightsaber, okay? Don't you
They
like
didn't even
it?
have lightsabers.
Which is stupid.
Hey, you know what? Wait a minute. So Kylo Ren has a shitty lightsaber, but the Star Killer base, which the First Order is making, is the planet that has all the crystals on it. So why couldn't he just have an infinite amount of crystals to fix that? And if the guy that's training him is Snoke, and Snoke is Palpatine, then why can't Palpatine explain how to make a better lightsaber? Is he trying to fuck with Kylo? He's like, I'm gonna tell this kid how to make a shitty lightsaber.
But Starkiller Base didn't run on crystals, did it? It was the power of the sun.
Yeah, but it's Ilum. It's where all the lightsaber crystals come from.
Oh, is it?
Yes, it is. That's canon.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
Fallen Order.
Enjoy that bullshit.
Oh, that's garbage. But okay.
It's not garbage. You're subjectively, objectively
I mean, I suppose what was it? The Empire mined Ilum for the crystals to power the Death Star, and they left it sort of a wasteland, and so the First Order came along and just sort of went, "Hey, let's turn this into another Death Star."
Wait. How does a lightsaber crystal power a Death Star? It's not like a dilithium crystal from Star Trek. It's just they get like a huge amount of it, like a giant quantity. In the same way that one small piece of uranium won't power a nuclear reactor, but you get like a metric fuck ton of it, and then you will.
Okay, so what we're saying is if we take the center of Earth, we can make a giant nuclear reactor out of it, and then we can use it to shoot the moon.
Yes.
I love it, JJ! It's science!
Fucking brilliant.
The most dense
It's
thing in
not
the universe.
science.
A star.
It's not science. It's
The most
Dyad.
dense thing in the universe.
We'll just manipulate
Science fiction writers in 2020.
It makes complete sense. It's science. No, it's not. It's Dyad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
There we
magic,
go.
guys. It's a space wizard movie for kids, okay? It's not science fiction. It's fucking dumb, okay? And it's designed to be that way, and if you don't like it, you are a pleb, and I don't want to be friends with you. You've got
shit
taste.
on purpose.
Yeah. Because kids are stupid.
Yeah. Yeah.
Great message there, Patrick. Really appreciate it.
Yeah.
Very inclusive of you.
When I was a kid, I didn't want logic. I just, space wizards.
Well, I kind of wanted reasonably good storytelling, so I watched the animated Lord of the Rings movies, and then I watched Lord of the Rings when I was 6 in the theater, and it was glorious.
That's privilege.
I don't care.
That's movie privilege.
I don't care.
You're movie privileged.
$2 Tuesday, damn it. What are you talking about?
Well, yeah, I suppose. But yeah, those animated Lord of the Rings movies now, I can't tell if they're bad or not. I think they're bad.
They're a little bad. They're pretty
bad. Yeah, especially the Ralph Bakshi Lord of the Rings where they're rotoscoping the whole thing. It's so
some of that art looks really weird now.
Yeah, it looks really bad.
You know what it looks like to me? It looks like that the Zelda game.
No. That's too much. That's too far, man.
That's why I've gone too far in a few places.
Yeah,
I know. I'm messing with you. It's not that bad. That would be horrible to say.
You have Dyad privilege.
You have Dyad privilege.
Yeah.
Dyad lives matter. Okay.
I knew that was coming. I could feel. I used the force. I could feel it in the force.
There
I
you
feel
go.
it in my Dyads.
Yeah. It is. Maybe it's
My
a
Dyads
force
are
daddy.
tingling.
What is
Maybe
that?
it's a force
The plural of gonad is dyad.
I can feel it in my Dyads. The force is weird here.
I don't think we can be very intelligent in this stream. There's really nothing to drive the conversation in that area. It's all just
Yeah.
they're like this way because they're
Speculation.
symmetrical and
Dyads.
It's because they're a dyad. It's so intelligent.
And because
Like sense, you guys.
they are of opposite genders, they will fit together.
right.
Oh yeah, they'll fit
yang.
together.
Oh boy. Here's Goose. Thank you, Goose. That's a great nickname. I should call myself like Moose or
Cheers,
Goose.
Goose.
Is the force connected to the big gay?
Oh, just because you're Canadian.
Yes, the big gay.
The big gay.
This month is the month of the big gay. This is the strong,
This is the big gay.
empowered big gay.
Oh gosh. We gotta get through this video sometime this month.
Yeah, we'll get it.
This is fun, but it's just he has nothing to say.
You know.
Yeah, they're like swinging baseball bats, but JJ knew what he was doing.
Oh my god! It's just like the OT. They were swinging baseball bats.
They're swinging baseball bats, but Dyad and all that.
All right, let's keep going. I'm losing brain cells by the moment.
They both never land any blows until distraction intervenes. The other criticism I see is the lack of a score undermining the gravitas of the final lightsaber duel. I hear that it should have been Duel of the Fates, underscoring the...
No. That's
You know why it's
good
not?
music.
It's because John Williams was like, "No, you're not doing that." I know that's not a fact, but like, can you imagine? Like him, like, "No, I'm not."
What are you doing with that? What are you doing with that prequels music? Put it back.
Yeah, exactly. And JJ's like, "But it's a dyad."
You're reminding me of a better fight right now. Put it back.
Yes.
JJ, put down the record. But I want to use it for my dyad music. JJ,
put it down.
Put it down.
Put it down, or I'm gonna spank you.
Who the heck is saying it should be Duel of Fates? Like, whoever said this? I've not heard this once.
No.
I know.
I bet I could find a Twitter post.
I thought there was music behind it anyway. It was just really lame.
It's
I think
completely
it was left
forgettable.
really low
Everything in the
register.
movie's forgettable.
Yeah, exactly.
I think it might have been like just super low register.
The best song in the sequels is just that Ray theme where it's like there's nothing else in it that's original because nothing in the movies is inspiring.
Blah, blah, blah. Blah, blah, blah.
Oh, that's a theme, right?
That's the thing.
That sounds like the theme that you play when you walk into a Kmart during Star Wars Celebration or something.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Welcome to the toy aisle. Blah, 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 blah. Thank you for coming to Disneyland.
And then everything else is just literally Palpatine's theme.
Yeah.
Somehow Palpatine returned. Da, 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 da.
Remember Star Wars?
I'm having PTSD flashbacks to the School of Movies podcast.
Oh, we're gonna do that one next, aren't we? Oh no.
I don't know. Oh, School of Movies? Oh no, I need to get the timestamps for the 2.5 hour playlist.
Yeah, that's the other one I was not looking at. It was a much shorter one. So.
Yeah, it's like 5 minutes, but it's still dumb.
But
we just have the Cantina music over the Rey Kylo fight.
Yes.
Yeah.
yes,
Perfect
pretty good.
fit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or play that. What's that? The special edition song that they added in, where it's like.
Oh,
Let's do that one. Yeah. Or what is it? Yub nub. That'd be cool.
Yeah.
I do like your renditions, Glib. I think you need a record.
You like my brain forgetting like half of it and trying to put it back together?
What's
That's
Ray's
right.
theme?
Yeah, like I don't remember. I only remember 50% of the content, so I have to add a little bit in, so it comes off like a little morphed. Like it's like all of my renditions of music are like that. You know that woman that saw the Jesus painting that needed to be fixed up. That's what my music coming out of my mouth is like.
Here's Mike Testa. Thank you, Mike Testa. Daddy, sorry. Daddy Kylo killed his daddy. Finn got daddied. What?
Yeah, no, it's a. She's got forced daddy issues. Dyad, daddy,
Daddy.
Dyad. I've been your dyaddy the whole time.
The Addy Mundi.
Dyaddy! I'm done. I quit. My YouTube career's over. It's never going to be in that moment. I'm out.
What about the droid attack on the Dyad?
It's bullshit we can't afford to abuse.
Here's Alex K. The only piece of media I'm waiting for is Cyberpunk 2077. I don't know. There's a lot of people really anticipating that new game coming out this month, man. I don't know. So popular.
In In a galaxy far, far away, a long time ago, they voted my planet worst planet to live in the city, or whatever it is, to live in America. And it's just like, it's the opening of Cyberpunk 2077, the trailer, and it's right before Hosnian Prime blows up, and then the trailer just ends.
I'm waiting for Artemis Fowl so I can rip into it.
Oh my god.
Light Cyberpunk 2077.
Yeah.
All right, let's keep going.
Entire thing. And to that I say, no, it definitely could have been that, but it never should have been that. The lack of music signifies the intimacy of the fight itself between Kylo and Rey, much like the quiet eeriness of Vader versus Luke on Cloud City.
Okay.
I totally get that this duel...
It's a hard comparison, but he has the same point. That's fine.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Yeah, I guess so.
could be considered as a duel of the fates regarding the galaxy, as well as the spiritual fates of Rey and Kylo, but still, I just don't think it works.
The spiritual fates? Okay, fine, I'll let that go.
Just them, the hum and clash of lightsabers, and the roar of the ocean. And I think that's perfect. So first, before we dive in...
It is a really cool backdrop. That's a really nice shot.
It is.
Yeah.
It is a very good it's shot well. Like I'll never complain about the cinematography in most of the stuff.
Yeah, it's like you're talking about Uncharted, right? And you're like, oh, the Uncharted, is it a good game or not? And then you go, well, I like the scenery. It's like, yeah, of course you like the scenery, because that's what everything's designed around. There's no logic to that being there. But it looks cool.
Yeah, when you see
very cool, Anakin.
The first time you're hanging from a ledge of a bus or a train, I can't remember what it was, and you're trying to get out. Like that's a cool set. This is a puzzle. You have to get out of it. It's scary and it's exciting. That's what Uncharted is. It's a bunch of set pieces.
Video gaming.
With it's with voice acting and talking Paul Ekman heads and all sorts of quick time events. It's pretty simple, straightforward, but because it's cinematic and has voice acting and zoom ins and cutscenes, people love that. People like to see that cinematic movie in a video game. Same with about BioWare games.
Mm-hmm. You leap through the roof of a house and punch a black woman through the floorboards and you roll down a mountainside.
Yeah, you get to do lots of fun things in those games.
Can I read this? I want to read this super chat from Mike Testa.
All right.
It's not yub nub, it's cum yum, the EFAT meme. Yeah, exactly. The only thing that I have to say to that is pip pip diddly doo. Pip pip diddly doo. Pip pip diddly doo.
I saw the colors and I clapped. Oh jeez.
I like lightsaber slash hum. There was water and it went and then she stabbed him.
I applauded for being pointless.
It broke new ground.
Oh my god.
My son, I have him in the basement. I forced him to watch The Rise of Skywalker. Now he's saying, can we be a dyad? No.
Will you please call me Daddy?
Oh god. George Takei is your father, Ray.
I keep George Takei in the basement.
Ray Takei.
We're coming up with more interesting tangents because this guy is apparently bugger all to say.
The Adventures of George Takei and Dyad Mundi.
I would watch it. I would definitely watch it.
Stuck in the basement of fucking Plinkett. Oh my god.
Sounds like it's with ATATChan. I knew it would.
Yes. Hello, LiteratureDevil.
Hello.
Hello.
We missed our last late great feminist slash movie critic slash God, what the hell? How do we describe Miss Fish? I have no idea.
If
you missed.
If Patrick and Witten Folly had a baby.
There you go.
If no. If she had a magazine, it would be called Electra Complex.
Did you know daddies can be women and daddies can also be non-daddies?
Yeah.
They could be.
Did you know that my dad left and never came back for this after he left it for the milk? Said I'm getting cigarettes, yeah. So I'm getting milk and cigarettes, and I said, "Dad, that's a cliche." And he said, "I know, son. I'm just leaving. Fuck you."
And then ever since then, I hated cliches. That's why they hate. That's why they hate cliches and tropes and stuff, because those are all cliches. And their dad left on a cliche. They said, "Son or daughter, I'm going to leave for cigarettes," and they never came back.
That's it.
That's the issue.
That's what cliches.
And that's why Rey fought against Palpatine, because she loved Kylo, but as soon as he said, "I've been every voice in your head," she went, "No, that's cliche. I don't want to be cliche." And then she decided to completely go against everything.
The Mary Sue didn't want to be cliche.
I think that's actually probably the psychological condition of the people making it. They think that they're so special that they want to fight the destiny aspect of how special they are.
You feel you are special, Mr. Anderson.
You can't scare me with this Gestapo crap. I know my rights. How can I want my phone call? How can you have a phone call when you aren't cool enough?
Anakin.
George Takei's back.
You feel you are special, above the law, as if the rules do not apply to you. That's exactly their mentality.
Yeah.
Where all the
cut out again. Yeah.
All the protagonists are just like that. They view themselves above the law. The rules don't apply to them. The rebellious sort. And now we see what that looks like.
Yeah.
We do. We're seeing it live in action right now.
Yeah. There's actually part of the School of Movies podcast on Solo included bringing a guy in who was like, "It was so awesome to see all of these Star Wars tropes get sent up in The Last Jedi, but I kind of enjoyed seeing them just played straight here in Solo." And it's like, oh gosh. Yeah.
I love how uncreative the writers were. That's great.
Yeah.
I'm glad that they are loyal consumers that are simultaneously rebels against institutions and also great fans of Disney content. That's the kind of sheep that I want to control.
2 minutes in, guys. We got to keep going here.
How this duel unfolds, I think the best place to start is always talking about where each character is mentally, because the most important component to a lightsaber duel beyond the spectacle is what's motivating it and what's at stake for the two people involved. At this point in the film, both Rey and Kylo are in a state of desperation. Kylo is obsessed with turning Rey to the dark side because of what
Wait. How is Kylo desperate?
He's not.
What is he desperate for?
Control. He's in complete control. What is wrong?
You remember that? I think that's how lightsaber shadow battles should be. Less Return of the Sith, or Revenge of the Sith, and more old Western. Old Western samurai showdown. Have you seen some of those big Clint Eastwood, all that stuff? And it's always the showdown, right? Always the Mexican standoff where they're just What's the end of that? I think it's the end of Good, Bad, and Ugly, where you have Tuco, you have Angel Eyes, and you have Blondie.
Yeah.
They're all like in a Mexican standoff. Whoever wins this gets the treasure, that sort of thing. And there's not like a gun battle that lasts 10 minutes. Not them shooting and reloading and dodging and stuff like that. It's them staring each other down. We have so much buildup. It's the buildup that's the battle.
Yes, always.
You want to be. It's the emotion that's the buildup is tangled within our emotions. That's where it is. And it's not a battle. It's just one shot. Everyone gets one shot, and that's the end of the fight. I think that's how Samurai. That's how not Samurai.
Yojimbo?
Right. Lightsaber battles should be. It should be about character and plot rather than this elongated battle. That's how I feel the battle between Anakin and Obi-Wan should have been. It should have been a huge build because these are huge monument, and Obi-Wan Kenobi, the guy who taught Darth Vader and the guy who initiated Luke Skywalker into the religion of the Jedi. These are two monumentous characters, huge, gigantic, and especially in terms. And so I think it should have been more focused on character and more focused on the story with maybe one slice. Because they're two masters, by the way. They're two masters of their respective lightsaber styles. I think it should have bear down one draw, one swing, and that's it. One of them drops, and I should have been the end of the battle. I think would have been just as satisfying as watching them, clink lightsabers for 10, 20 minutes.
Boo. Boo. Boo, shut up.
It's not cool.
Oh, that's cool,
Yeah.
Anakin.
That might be cool, Anakin.
All of the best action scenes are obviously like realistic combat scenes with flourish and style, and it's like actual fighting. If you've ever watched it, whether it's in a cage or it's a giant battle, is not, you know, flashy all the time. There's lulls in it. It goes up and down in intensity, and there's different strategies being employed. There's a flexibility between it being macro level decisions that are being made by command and little micro movements that happen on the ground, and like the whole setup that you have for a fight should flow in a way that is going to have climaxes and falls within the scene, as well as a general crescendo to the battle that ends in the defeat of one of the characters. If it's two characters facing off, then the idea is that one is supposed to walk away or the character gets away. It's satisfying when one character faces off and reaches the end versus the other character.
And there's also this idea. Remember the battle from Empire Strikes Back, the one where Luke Skywalker fights Darth Vader, the battle that a lot of Rey defenders tend to conveniently forget about.
Mm-hmm.
That one is a elongated fight, but if you look at the fight, it has a beginning, middle, and end. It changes in feel and style. So we have the beginning where the tension is full. It's full of tension because Luke Skywalker is just looking around, trying to find his friends. It feels like a trap. You know, he's expecting to march into this whole brigade of Imperial troopers, and he finds nothing.
Where is everybody?
He finds
and
Darth
then,
Vader.
but he sees before he gets there, he's chasing after his friends, and then they disappear. And wait, no, look, it's a trap! Bam! And then the door closes. And now, from that point on, it's just him versus Vader.
And Vader just comes out like a specter. Like it's like he's a looming presence.
And he's waiting. He's lying in wait for him after we see the consequences of the previous action of that area. We know that he's trying to bait Luke into the freezing chamber, right? He doesn't want to kill him.
He doesn't want to kill him.
No, but Luke wants to defeat Vader really badly. So then it becomes that there's three major segments as far as I can break it into as far as the fight goes. There's the carbonite freezing chamber sequence, which is basically Luke showing off his new abilities to Vader. He's like, very good. Obi-Wan taught you well, but you don't know everything. And then once Vader has shown to be too much kind of for Luke to handle, that's when they go to the next level, when he's underneath and Vader starts messing with him with the Force and blowing him out of the window and all this stuff. You know what I mean? But it's like there's the sequence where they're facing off with each other and having a conversation is almost no fight at all after we've had a large amount of action. When Luke is on his last leg, basically. There's stages to the fights that have different types of satisfaction. One is, wow, cool, it's two skilled combatants fighting against each other. Then it's, oh no, Luke is kind of getting dominated. Is he going to be able to survive? And then we realize, no, he's going to get his arm cut off. He's going to lose his lightsaber. He's going to get told really, really bad news, and then he's going to give up almost.
Right.
He's not allowed to because the Force doesn't let him.
There is a transition where he's actually on the he jumps out of the cryo freezing place, and then he gets the jump on Vader, and Vader falls down, and Luke just jumps in after him. You're like, dude, just keep going. Why? But he has to keep fighting. He wants to keep fighting with him, and then that's when they encounter on the platform. So it's like. There is not just complete domination. There's an ebb and flow to the fight.
True. And I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt LiteratureDevil, but what I wanted to say is relating it back to the Rise of Skywalker. There isn't that multi-layered storytelling where we know it's they have to be here,
definitely
they have to be here, and they have to be here, and then especially in the scene that we're seeing right now, it's like the none of the stuff adds up. You know what I mean? Like you have the Cloud City setting is already understanding. Like you get why they're there. The administrator Lando betrays somebody that trusts him to help survive the rebellion. Basically, Luke goes after them because he has a vision. That's where they're going to be trapped. We see exactly what the trap does. We know every step of the way what's happened, And in here, we're like, oh, we got to go find the Wayfinder, which is somehow on the Death Star that didn't get totally obliterated, that landed on this planet that doesn't look like Endor. And they
never moved or got scavenged.
And the desert dweller goes out on a boat and knows how to operate this boat thing to go fight this bad guy villain character. And and they're going to fight. And the only reason why she wins is because he gets distracted by his mother. And she takes advantage of that. And then she heals him.
And this what I wanted to point out about this whole particular battle, because it is quite elongated. While I prefer the Western showdown battle, Western showdown style battle, where it's just like one swing or one shot. If you need to have this elongated battle, it's that this whole battle between Darth Vader and Luke Skywalker. It's a story in and of itself. It begins in almost an even setting where we have Luke Skywalker and Darth Vader, a trained Luke Skywalker versus a trained Darth Vader. We're going to see how it compares, and then we get to see them scuff a little bit. Maybe Luke gets in a little bit there, but it's very clear that Darth Vader is not putting his all into it. It's a very beginning. You haven't seen the real power behind Darth Vader, and then it moves on, and Luke is starting to get dominated more and more and more, and then he gets a blow on Darth Vader, his shoulder, and that's where Darth Vader starts to change things, and he starts taking this seriously, and that's when Luke gets destroyed. So it goes from there's a different sections of the battle, different emotions you connected to the battle. It changes. It's a story in and of itself. It's beginning, there's a middle, and there's a definitive end. And it ends in tragedy for Luke. And that's not the whole movie, but it is its own story, its own unique little story between two characters. And if you want to have an elongated battle, if you absolutely need to have a battle that's longer than just a one shot, then that's how it should be: a beginning, a middle, and end. Have different emotions, different twists and turns to it, and something that fundamentally changes things. And it should tell a story on its own. That's how it should be. Like how a good fight scene should do that. A good it's the same thing in musicals. Musicals, when they have a musical number, a good one tells a story. One thing from one of the more famous ones in recent history, maybe like 2013, fairly recent history, 7 years ago. Let It Go. People love that song so much. Everyone hates it now because it was played ad nauseum. But
and it also has the same fucking cliche chord structure as a million other songs.
The four chords.
my favorite version of that is the Filthy Frank version.
But
I hope you guys have heard it.
The thing about the Let It Go song is that it's like one of the best songs in there. In my opinion, also, and the other good song is You Want to Build a Snowman, because these two songs, they tell stories. These musical numbers, they tell stories. Let It Go allows it's a story. If you look at the beginning of Let It Go, it is a story of Elsa climbing a mountain. She feels alone. She feels isolated and left out, literally in the cold. And over the course of Let It Go, she starts to let it go. She starts opening up herself. She's been closed off for so many years, and by the end of Let It Go, she's able to express herself. She's free. She's finally free of the burden that she's been carrying for all this time. It sounds cooler than actually turned out to be, but that's essentially what happens.
Of course. No, but I love that, and I want to add on that when people talk about themes and motifs, it's so easy to identify those in musicals because from the perspective of what the orchestrator is coming from, they're when we're talking about a film that is a musical, we're looking back at operas, we're looking at actual stage musicals, and the way that the structures of the music in that work is that there is like an overture, there are motifs, there are themes that are very clearly musical, like easily detectable. They're either harmonies, melodies, or rhythms that are repeatedly played. So when we have a musical, we can add narration, we can add character detail, we can add how I'm feeling inside, my feeling's so strong right now while I'm singing this song right now. It's so like
South Park thing.
Yeah, exactly. You can turn anything into a musical because it's basically just internal monologue in musical form and then dialogue in musical form, and that's kind of why people that are, I think, of younger or more emotional persuasion are so connected with it, because it gives tonality to your internal monologue, where regular dry narration, like how I like in noir, is because I'm kind of a dry person inside. You know what I mean?
I come back after my 9th rum and coke to just find Glib serenading the chat.
Yeah.
Speaking of I have to answer this thing to Mike Testa. He says, Glib saying Takei's voice, "You're pretty good for some clown who thinks he's Batman." There you go.
Yeah, nice one.
Oh my.
Only just jump on here after finally finishing what I was doing. I thought that was going to take 20 minutes. It took an hour.
Hey, Shiny.
I also want to
do a discussion about Frozen and singing and Glib serenading the chat.
Yeah.
as it should be.
How
so
did you go from ATAT chat to this?
Oh, it's easy.
Because
really
he's boring and we're entertained.
He has nothing to say. He's full of nothing at all.
That's
get ready
usual.
to-
That's AT chat. He's full of shit and nothing else.
Let's get
Smudcast
ready to watch more of nothing then.
Smudcast the musical, starring but I just want to add one more thing from chat. Flynn's ending in Tron Legacy is what Luke deserved. That's from Alex K. And I'm so glad that you pointed that out because I felt that way when I was watching all of these films. I feel like Tron Legacy, and I don't know how this happened, but Tron Legacy seems to be one of the only films where it's like 20 years, 30 years, or whatever, how many years afterwards, the characters come back and they actually respect the character. Like, Flynn's mistake is not his fault. Flynn is not a deadbeat dad by choice. He gets stuck there. And what he does to fix the problem, to help save the future, to help save his son, is a sacrifice that his son doesn't really want to have happen, and actually the more like deep ending of it is that the data that is saved onto the chip that he rides out with could still have his father's information on it. So like that film doesn't it symbolically like does the exact thing that all of these films want to do, it seems, which is try and reset these canons so that they can move on to the future, close out a story while still maintaining the idea of hope from the past towards the future. And they don't do that with Luke. If Luke had been more like making a sacrifice for everybody in the galaxy at the end of the entire saga, people would not be upset that Luke died. It's because he died unceremoniously. And even though people are, oh, what do you mean? It's a twin sunset he was looking at. I'm like, that's not what defines Luke.
Yeah, it's looking good in the background is not. It's same thing as the Anakin and Padme having a romance wherever the background looks good. Just because it looks good in the background does not make up for the fact. What it does do is cover up the fact that it's poorly written. It doesn't make up for the. It doesn't make it. It's not a signal that it is well written. It covers up the fact that it's poorly written.
It doesn't make the fact that Luke sounds like a fucking 80s action villain at the end of it or something like.
I thought he was sounding like an edgy 13-year-old more like to me. He sounds like an edgy 13-year-old with like posters of death metal bands in his room or something. That's what he sounded like to me. Everything's dead and darkness and there's no meaning me and that sort of thing. It's edgy 13-year-old stuff. But I want to put in one more example because I don't want to leave my last example on Frozen. But one more example that I really enjoyed from a musical that tells a story from beginning to end and actually changes things, which would I think a good fight scene should do in a movie like Star Wars is the song Epiphany from Sweeney Todd, where at the beginning of the song he doesn't know what to do. He just killed Pirelli. I think his name is Pirelli. He just killed the barber guy, his rival barber guy, and he's like, okay, I guess I'll just hide his body somewhere. And then over the course of Epiphany, he gets an epiphany and says, you know what? Maybe I should go ahead and start practicing my revenge, start killing people in this manner. So at the end of it, he's Sweeney Todd, like Sweeney Todd we know, the guy who killed the demon barber at Fleet Street, kills people, turns them into meat pies. That's where he kind of has that drive. You get to see that him change from a guy who's just out for revenge against a judge to a guy who becomes a murderer. Changes the character very slightly from revenge-driven to murderer/revenge-driven. He trying to change his perspective in that one. The song Epiphany in Sweeney Todd.
Okay, we can breathe now, guys. I got to read some super chats, and then we'll get right back to the video, okay? Whew. Mad Courier 6. Hey, Smut, if you have to choose, would you rather read a fanfic by Rian Johnson or a fanfic by Kathleen Kennedy? That's a good question. I don't know, because I don't know what Kathleen Kennedy can write, or if she even can write. But because I know Rian Johnson, I'd like to see what else he can do that wouldn't be trash or would be trash, so I could actually have a proper grading scale of his media. So it's like, is it good in movies? Is it good in fanfics? Is it good in short stories, etc.? So the more I read of Rian Johnson, the more I'll understand him. Whereas Kathleen Kennedy, I don't really care. So
As the quote of Jordan Peterson, what is with you? You can't even write. You think you have a style.
Here's Mike Testa. Terry McGinnis a better successor than Kate Kane?
Yes.
Yes. Oh my goodness, that's not even a question. What are you talking about?
Terry McGinnis is competent. Kate Kane is not.
Terry McGinnis is perfect to be the successor to Batman because he's disconnected from the world that Bruce Wayne comes from. He's from the future. Yeah, it's Batman Beyond.
He's a clone, right? He's a clone. Yes. Yeah. Okay.
No. Or it ends up being that he's not a clone, he's his son, because the DNA was used to reprogram some random family that had the same... They explain it in Justice League Unlimited. Like
I don't know shit about that. All I know is that the idea of Terry being young and brash and going against what this sort of Frank Miller Dark Knight Returns Batman, who's old now and can't physically go out and wants to do all this stuff. I thought that was so marvelous. The fact that Batman is like in the same position that Alfred is in before, and then capitalizing on that, like the idea that there's still some sort of like equivalent to all of those Batman villains makes sense to me, and the way that they portray the next generation. I love that. Terry McGinnis is great. Kane, because whatever, Kate Kane, watch the Razor Fist video on Batwoman for that. That's my suggestion in the chat.
I was thinking more of the comic book Kate Kane because she's actually not bad, but I guess if you're talking about the popularized versions, which are on TV, then yeah, I guess she would be pretty bad.
She's not even the best female successor. Carrie Kelly from Dark Knight Returns is better.
Okay, interesting.
The Robin
from
from that.
Yeah, I have to think about because there's several versions of each, so I have to okay, is it that one or this one? Which comic? Because there are some really good comics with her, but not the ones that we know.
That's true. It's this. Somebody on Twitter today was saying, and I know this is an aside, but just as a reference point, what I realized comic books are doing is they're changing the identity of characters. So somebody was saying that it makes no sense for a police officer or something like that to have a Punisher logo as like their thing because the Punisher would shoot cops or something like that or hate cops. And I was forgetting that part of his history is that he was a cop. He was a special forces guy. He wouldn't shoot cops unless they were corrupt. That's the only time Punisher would ever consider shooting a cop. Yeah, so people have seriously messed up like what the origins of like and what vigilantism in a superhero sense means. Even in the dark world, it doesn't mean like perfect example for Star Wars. In Rogue One, after Cassian Andor shoots his contact, I hated the movie. And I hated his character because that's the dumbest thing you could do in that sequence. And everything that happened was his fault. And so he's like, "Oh, this is our hero character. This is supposed to be our anti-hero." Like that's
sorry, hang on. What exactly was he supposed to do with the guy who couldn't climb out of there?
Why was he talking about the most important information to the rebellion in that space?
Well, I mean,
why did he set up his contact like that? He's an idiot. Or the writers are an idiot. And what I do now is when I know the writing is idiotic, I just apply it to the characters. Because it's the writer's brain that's not functioning properly. It's just like with Star Trek Picard. Like, when they don't listen to canon, it's because their brains are not working properly. They're not thinking about that. Like, they didn't watch the content that they're making a sequel to.
You are assuming in that statement that they had a ship to get out of there or they had a base to go to. This isn't like when Poe meets Tekka on the planet and it shows that he has a ship, so he could have picked him up and took him somewhere else. We don't see a ship. You don't get any
information.
No. So it does say that he's trying to get a transport out, and Cassian's like, "No, I need the information. Give it to me." It's like,
and then they're yelling, and that's what attracts attention. Like he's bad at his job.
He's yelling because he's panicked, and Cassian has to shoot him because he's injured, and the last thing he wants to do is let the Empire take him, because he'll just turn over all the information that he's just told him. And also, they probably would have tortured it out of him, so it's probably humane to do it anyway.
I understand what they're trying to go for.
The guy's injured and panicking and on the run, so he's irrational, and Cassian cannot comfort him. And he's like on the clock.
Yeah, but why are they meeting there?
I don't know.
Because
Okay, that's all I'm saying is that
you
it's
don't
like
have an alternate meeting place. The guy was just trying to leave, and
Damn it.
Cassian was like, "No, give me information."
All right, guys, this is a great conversation for another time.
yeah, exactly. That's what I was
Yeah,
thinking.
it is.
But
Yes.
anyway, I was just trying to make this point where it's like people are supposed to focus on the logic of it, make sense, and then and instead of confusing what like an anti-hero is with a villainous character that makes immoral decisions, and maybe that was not a great example for this audience, but what I'm saying is that there's a difference between the Punisher shooting a corrupt cop and then the Punisher hating cops because somebody just wrote a comic last week that says that he does now. I see that all the time now. It's like, oh, actually, in episode 13 last year, they released a comic and it said that he hated that. It's like, so now where people are not only putting like their agenda subtly into the comic, they're like changing what the characters would do by changing how the characters are acting in the fictional universe. So then people can have real world arguments about whether or not someone should have a patch on their uniform. It's like so stupid to me.
Punisher that shoots cops is not the Punisher. It is it's a deformed amalgamation of a Punisher. It's not Frank Castle that we know and love.
That's why everybody loves that Hail Hydra meme.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Right. Okay, two more.
I still need. Yeah.
Go ahead.
Okay,
Go ahead, Dunn.
Oh no. I was just going to say I haven't seen any Punisher stuff, but I'm like, yeah, that's not a good representation.
Punisher is a Netflix series, and on
I need to watch that. Daredevil.
yeah, it's Daredevil and Punisher. They're all right. They're on Netflix. Good.
Yeah, Daredevil's fine. The Punisher series is on the bottom spectrum of okay. I mean, it's good if you haven't read the comics. It's kind of like The Boys from Amazon.
yeah.
It's
Yeah.
a mixed bag, I would assume.
I would also, anyway, we have those two, three
Yeah,
super
let's
chats
go.
now.
Yeah, super chats, yeah.
Yeah, here we go. So Nathan Brake, hey, the video I suggested, nice. Yes, we talked about it. We went for it. Thank you, sir. Alexander Mosley, Epiphany is such a great song. Thank you, LiteratureDevil, for mentioning that. Mike Testa would love a Batman Beyond discussion, my fellows. You know what? I'm familiar with the show. I think it's a great
am
show.
too.
I think it's a good idea. Yeah, I'm down to do that. As
Yeah.
long as we can do, I think, let's watch a couple episodes, maybe when we do one of these movie night things, and then what we can do is, I'd like to also talk about some other, like, like old Batman stories in that conversation, too. Like, relating the concept of aging heroes would be something I would be interested in talking about in that. Just to add on to Batman Beyond, because there's some concepts there that are taken from Dark Knight Returns and stuff. Anyway, that's just my input.
No problem. All right, let's keep going.
Turned out to be. Plus, if you have read the novelization, which I recommend to anyone
It's
wanting
written by
clarity
Ray.
on this film.
Don't read the novelization. Do not.
It's written by somebody named Ray.
Oh, gotta read the book, guys.
Oh, you need to go.
Ray Carson. I guess that's her pin name. Her real name is Skywalker.
Yes, it's an autobiography.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
but
the name
you
she
should never-
appropriated.
You should never, ever, ever need to go read the fucking book to understand the film. That is like
Yeah.
number one rule. You don't go outside the material to understand the material. Like,
So
I thought
Can
we
we-
argued this down by now. I thought
Yeah.
people understood this by now. If
we-
you're going to defend a movie, you can't say go read the book.
Can we wind it? Can we
Don't
wind it
spend
back a
money,
few
you'll
seconds
understand
so we? Can we wind it back a few seconds so we can see what he's asking us to read the book about?
Sure.
What was he telling us we need to read the book to understand?
Obsessed with turning Rey to the dark side because of what she has turned out to be. Plus, if you have read
Oh,
the
okay.
novelization, which I recommend to anyone wanting more clarity on this film overall, Kylo Ren already knows that he is fated to die if Rey becomes a Jedi.
What?
When
What?
was that in the movie? That's not a clarification. That's not this. Oh, this would clarify something. This is a whole new element they're adding into the story. How was Kylo going to die if she turns to the dark side?
what
And
kind
does
of
he know about
and he's
Leia
supposed to-
vision?
this?
He's supposed to do that. How is he going to die if he becomes a Jedi or whatever?
Is it implying that Palpatine will kill him if he fails
Or
to do this
I
for him?
think so. I think that's referring to the BS Leia Force vision that when her journey as a Jedi was ended, her son would die.
That's not a clarification. That's like, oh, if you read the novelization of Empire Strikes Back, you find out that Darth Vader is Luke Skywalker's father. That's way different. It's a new element being added into the story overall.
I think I need to point out.
No. Wait a second. I want to point out that oh, sorry, I just repeated what I wasn't going to say that voice originally, but just because you said it, it made me repeat it. So
No, it's fine. Still my ideas.
Is the what remind? Shut up. What I remembered was that what was mentioned just there. That was if Leia completed her Jedi training, Kylo would die. Not if Rey completed her Jedi training. So that's obviously not the thing which is being discussed here, because that is someone else.
Well, I was going to say,
then again,
motherfucker dies anyway. So
also, well,
kind of off screen almost.
Okay, I'm sorry. So part of it is like Leia kind of sets down, like that's one of the dumb things that Luke says is that Leia set her lightsaber down Rey for somebody to pick up her journey. I guess that's why she left, but she still left the lightsaber so that somebody could pick it up later. And part of that is her Jedi training. It's really, really stupid.
Hey, Luke, maybe you should have told Rey when she came. Hey, I don't want to come with you, but here's my sister's lightsaber. Okay, bye. Have a good time.
Oh, yeah, she might want this again.
Yeah, it's so utterly dumb.
I'm going to put down this gun, otherwise I'll shoot Glib and kill him. So I'm going to put this gun down here so someone else can pick it up and shoot him. That way he won't die.
That whole element, though, that would have been fantastic. That would have been a fantastic element, though. It could have focused on it, because it could have focused. It would have given Kylo Ren an actual real life sympathetic goal
or a character.
Yes, it's or character at all. You know, just any semblance of characters have the illusion that we get in the movie.
We don't even get an illusion.
What he could have done is that his whole story could have revolved around, you know, it's trying to stop Rey, trying to stop Leia, or whatever, and because he's doing all sorts of things because maybe he doesn't want to die. Maybe there's one character out there, I can't really think of him, but there was one where they're so desperate not to die. It's more like a kind of a Macbeth feel to it, kind of like I want this so badly. I'm willing to die. Yeah, exactly, like Voldemort. The new hero of the far right, J.K. Rowling, recently. But yeah, it's like that. I so want this thing so much that I'm willing to commit horrible evil to get it. And what if Kylo Ren was so afraid of death that's why he went to the dark side, and that's why he does all the things that he does, because of this prophecy that if Rey or Leia became a Jedi or whatever, he would die. He didn't want that to happen. And people say, no, it's not going to happen. This is a prophecy. These things always don't work out. You know, I'm Luke Skywalker. I should know. So what if that was Kylo Ren's whole journey? His whole story was he turns to the dark side, commits all these atrocities, commits almost downright genocide. And also that he can stop people from getting to where they need to be, because if they get to where they were prophesized to be, he would die. Now that would be very, very easy to understand, easy to wrap your brain around, and very sympathetic. You might not agree. You probably would. I mean, you shouldn't agree.
No.
But you would understand it at the very least, and you would probably feel some level of sympathy or empathy with him at that point. But no, it's just a tossed away element that doesn't really get focused on it in any way.
Yeah, Thanos blows this whiny little brats out of the water in terms of complexity. Even in Endgame, where he's severely nerfed as a character, he's still better.
So, can we at least agree that there's really no mention of Kylo dying as a result?
Yes, there is no mention.
Okay.
Yeah, well, like...
It's not in the film, then we don't count it.
If trying to defend the film, you can't do so with a book or comics. Okay, the film has to stand on its own. If it's a review,
it
of the
should
film.
be able to defend itself. You can't say
it's a mess.
Here's a book. It's like you can't go, oh well, all the prequels are bad. You say, oh well, here's Clone Wars. Throw fucking 6 seasons at them.
Well, kind of the thing is, I was actually watching part of Hack Fraud Media's review of The Last Jedi with a girl I met, and it was really cool, by the way. And she was like,
"Are you done laying some pipe?" All right, that's a date. Wow.
Yeah. So she said, "I know." I
She
used to hate
said,
the
"When are you letting me
prequels."
out of the basement?"
Okay.
I've never watched the Star Wars film. What are we
No,
doing?
no, go on.
Well,
Sorry.
Yeah. Well, she said, I used to hate the prequels. Now I can't anymore after seeing what they did to Luke. These are now just mediocre. This is crap."
Yeah, it's really. It makes me wonder if that was George Lucas's plan all along.
Well, the thing is, they didn't even use his ideas. Ryan just tossed everything out and did his own thing, including the stupid bombers, the dumb slow motion car chase, Luke being a nihilistic shell of who he used to be.
Star Wars?
bad.
Are you okay there?
Yeah.
No.
And it's kind of painful considering how Mark Hamill himself was like, I hate this idea of Luke Skywalker. He wanted to come. He said on multiple occasions he wanted to play the optimistic Luke Skywalker. He play the Superman archetype of Luke Skywalker, the one who leads the way, the shining beacon of hope that Luke Skywalker was. And they turn him into this cynical 13-year-old.
Yeah. Who, partially because it's just Ryan just wanted to, like, he got a few ideas, right? Like, in terms of there's an element of a constant conflict, but it's still, how he presented it is so stupid.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, but the problem is, the Sith are ruling the galaxy.
It's like, yeah.
Once more, the Sith will rule the galaxy.
It's like,
I
you
guess-
know who trained Darth Vader? It was a Jedi. It's like, that's cool, but could we maybe go, no.
Which
It's like,
Jedi was it?
why? Did you
The
know
Jedi
why we're
who
not going to go there? Oh, it's because the Jedi is the fault for everything. It's like, no, but the Sith?
The Sith white man, I mean the Jedi are evil and should be taken down. It's time for the Sith white male, I mean the patriarchy, I mean the Jedi order to end. Okay.
The Dyad.
But it doesn't even make sense. It's like, she doesn't even say if the Jedi, just say if the Jedi die, the light dies, it's vanity. It's like the Jedi are the only one protecting the light. It's not saying that they own it. It's what the fuck are you on about, Luke? You're having two different conversations here. You're a
Yeah.
fucking idiot.
But shall we keep going?
It gets worse,
Or else
guys.
we're
Don't
going to
worry.
be-
No, of course, ATATChan chat gets worse.
Well,
I'm sure he's going to say that the wreckage of, the Death Star is going to it symbolizes Kylo Ren's soul. I'm not going to let him go for that. I'm not letting him go for the fucking ground apparently symbolizing his scarred soul.
It's saying if the universities go away, the saying if the teachers go away, saying if the mentors all go away, the knowledge dies. It's not real. It's vanity. Like, shut up, Luke. How are we supposed to spread knowledge without the teachers and the mentors? Okay, how are you supposed to teach people the ways of the Force, the mysteries of the Force, without the Jedi? They're the only ones out there really teaching it on a mass scale. Now you just want them to end because you're an edgy 13-year-old now with Metallica posters everywhere.
The Guardians of Light and Peace. That's what they're supposed to do. If you don't think they were doing them well in the prequels, sure, then go out and make a proper order. Like, your Legends counterpart does. Luke decides, hey, look, let's actually have relationships. Hey, look, let's actually, not be part of the Republic because, we need to actually defend the galaxy without politics.
I kind of want a clip of Patrick Stewart going, "Shut up, Luke." I want Patrick Stewart saying, "Shut up, Luke."
Shut up, Luke.
Of what was it? Him
Shut
saying,
up, Wesley. No, I don't know.
Shut
Shut up, Will. Yeah.
Shut up, Skywalker.
Yeah, exactly. I want to get Patrick Stewart
up.
to say that.
Yeah, probably. We'll see.
All right.
Let's get back to the video.
Two chats, so I'm going to keep going. Mike Testa, Batman Beyond proved Freeze can be funny when emotionless. I think you're right. Yeah. There
Mr.
was some
Freeze.
comedy there with Mr. Freeze. Pretty tragic, though. Pretty sad with Mr. Freeze.
Yeah.
Mr. Freeze is best played when he's serious and not humorous at all, and he's like some foreign German guy, and he has just nothing to do with anything. That's when it's much better.
No.
I will admit.
Let's
I do
kick some
like
ice. The Iceman comes around.
No,
I do
he's best played when he's played by Arnold Schwarzenegger. Okay.
Played by a large man who talks like this.
We kill the dinosaurs. The Ice Age. That's awesome.
Didn't
You
that,
son of a
didn't
bitch!
Didn't Heart of Ice in Batman the Animated Series win an Emmy or something?
The fuck are we talking about? Right now? Jesus.
Yeah, because every
Heart of
invention.
Ice. Heart of Ice is Mr. Freeze's introduction in Batman the Animated Series.
It won a Daytime Emmy Award.
Oh, daytime Emmy. Okay. Oh, nice.
All right, one more, then we shall continue. Lollipop,
Yay!
Lord of Ahegao. Hi, Smud and Co. Had some recent nightmares about a friend of mine that committed suicide, and your analysis goodness helps me get my mind off of it. Well, you're welcome. I hope everything works out.
Welcome to the party, my friend. Where I am doing silly accents, and we are talking about this very bland video.
This is where the fun begins.
This is where the fun
Indeed.
begins.
Indeed, here the
Flying
fun
is for
begins,
droids.
dear.
I'm actually really happy that's now my intro for the fucking LiteratureDevil morning stream. Honestly, love that a lot more. This is where the fun begins.
This is where the fun begins. I personally still like You're Right Eternal, Shiny, and Chrome, but I
No,
could
I like
understand.
fun begins.
That's
I love
because
that.
That's because Mad Max Fury Road is the best action movie in all of creation.
Well, I liked it. I wouldn't say for that.
Yeah.
There's just nothing that quite compares to how operatic it is and how much of an adrenaline rush you get. Like even like something like John Wick, Predator, that sort of thing. It's just Mad Max Fury Road is just so operatic in terms of its
now you get into dangerous
explosiveness.
territory here with John Wick. No,
John Wick's the best gun fu in any movie.
Let's get back to this video. We'll have a gun fu conversation later. That's another good one.
Yeah.
Ren has no desire to be the pawn of Palpatine or anybody, and he also has no desire to truly kill Rey. Plus, I imagine the idea of dying is something that he's not really that interested in. So his only option is to turn Rey to the dark side so that she can help him kill Palpatine.
This is
Then,
information
in his
that's not
mind-
in the film, but yes.
Yes.
Also, didn't he like try to run her over like the day before?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So he wants to kill her, but not really kill her, just sort of kill her?
also we don't really know why you were trying to run her over. It's a TIE fighter thing.
It was for that trailer scene. That's the only reason that's in the movie is for the trailer.
It's like, okay, Ray, it's time to do a cool scene for the trailer of this movie that we don't know about.
That's
And
so stupid. It's like, okay, so do you do the
We know
logical
it's
thing?
stupid,
A,
Shiny.
fire
We know
laser
it's stupid.
Or B, you
It's
fire
okay.
laser beam, or C, fire a fucking proton
okay.
torpedo. It's like, what'd you do? Oh,
It's
I'm
okay,
gonna run
Shiny.
him over. Run him over. It's like, okay, that's
We
It's like,
let's
okay,
stay with
so
Shiny.
You're Ray. So what'd you do? Do you
We
A,
know- we
slow
know.
it down and let it go over you? B, breathe really hard and then turn around.
The whole movie
Or
sucks.
C,
We get it. It's okay.
do something.
Hey, Shiny.
fucking-
Shiny. Did you watch the movie yet?
It's okay, Shiny. It's okay.
don't-
Star Wars, beautiful Star Wars. Yeah, let's
Chat,
go.
if you want a good day, wish me a good day in chat. I will wish you all a good day. It's okay. We know. Everything's terrible.
This bloody Mary Sue is getting hit by a stupid TIE fighter.
Yeah. And then the villain explodes.
He flies like 2 miles. He's fine. He's fine. He's totally fine.
Obviously, we didn't read the novelization, which fixes this.
All right, Rise of Skywalker, however, to me was far more entertaining than
Good
The
day.
Last Jedi.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I would disagree. Well, partially because I had to sit silently with my sisters and my mother who liked the movie, and I'm just like, oh, I want to joke, but I can't, and it's hurting me inside that they like this movie.
Oh, they liked it?
Yes.
Well, they probably just don't think about it. They're like, oh yay,
No, they
movie,
don't.
whatever. Fuck it. You
Good
can't get mad
day.
about that.
They kind of do. They kind of do think about it. They just kind of think of it in a weird, twisted way. And this is like, this movie's so stupid. Why can you not see that his turn to the dark side turn from the dark side is stupid and not sympathetic? Why are you?
Didn't he
buying
already
into
try
this?
that? Didn't she already say no? Why is he still trying to do that? Why doesn't he just have a conversation with her that isn't tied into some cosmic dark side, light side? They don't have like a regular conversation. It's like so childish.
Why doesn't he literally go kidnap everyone who landed at the Death Star wreckage with Rey and just threaten to kill them if Rey doesn't turn to the dark side?
Why doesn't he just give up on the dark side and walk away?
Why doesn't he actually have clear motivations in this entire fucking show?
He's like, I'm going to finish what you've started. And he looks at Vader, and then he doesn't think about the fact that Vader was a fucking Force ghost. As soon as I saw that in the trailer, I knew the movies were going to be stupid. Because Anakin is a Force ghost. He can literally go up to Kylo at any time and be like, yo, I didn't want that to happen. Me and my son, your uncle or whatever, who's trying to train you. Yeah, we tried to save the world from this bad guy. Why? What are you doing?
Good day, everyone. Hello.
Isn't someone in EFAPs that mentioned what's the point of being alive if you be a Force ghost?
Yeah.
That was really funny way to look at it. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, especially since he raises the frickin' X-wing.
Being alive is much cooler, Anakin.
Lightsaber.
We can have sex.
You can get chicks. You just can't have sex with them, Anakin. That's against the law.
Being alive, can be kind of annoying. You have people invade your realm, Dark Souls style. It's just be undead.
Remember Return of the Jedi? It's like Obi-Wan shows up. He's like, it's like, Luke, don't kill yourself. You can't have hot wings. It's like, we don't have, we can't enjoy any earthly thing. All I can do is tell you cool shit because I'm a convenience for the plot.
Well, kind of the thing is, Yoda hits Luke with a stick in The Last Jedi, so technically they could interact with the physical world.
Did you know that lightning is a Force ghost power, but it's a Sith power in real life when you're alive?
Yeah,
that makes sense.
I guess. Oh man, the
Being
girl
a Force ghost is pretty cool, Anakin.
So, is Rey gonna learn how to firebend in the next season?
I guess.
You can only be a Force ghost if you are cool.
Yeah, it's how cool you are.
So I actually watched a rather interesting video from I think it's Thor Skywalker, where he talks about is Disney abandoning the sequel trilogy?
Yes.
And he's like, yeah, pretty much, because there is no merchandise for most of the sequel trilogy stuff.
It's because they didn't fucking make anything new.
Yeah.
There's no games. There's no other comics outside of what was explained for the movies.
Porg.
Fucking porgs.
Yeah.
Can we just admit that fucking Baby Yoda was a gold mine in terms of an idea for marketing? Jesus Christ, whoever was paying the people at Lucasfilm to not kill themselves can't be getting enough money, I swear.
Yeah. I imagine so, yeah.
Okay. Mark in 3D, thank you, sir. Rey being hit by a tie with ragdoll physics.
That'd be fun.
That would be interesting. I'd like to see her, ricochet around the sand. See how far she would fly. Of course, she'd be totally fine, but just fun to watch.
Yeah, because Rey is immortal and invincible.
She's using the Force Dyad.
She can't even die.
She just tumble around and boom, boom, boom. She'd be fine.
I'm a Dyad, and you've got to deal with it, Rey Skywalker.
Let's continue.
Mike Testa, Beyond Mr. Freeze's puns are funny because hostile. Oh, okay. Well, yeah, he's pretty hardcore in Batman Beyond. He's just completely uncaring. Just boom.
He's a head in Batman Beyond. And yet he's still alive.
Chill. We kill the dinosaur. I want Arnold to play Mr. Freeze.
What killed the dinosaurs?
Like, what if they brought in Arnold for Batman Beyond? What if they brought in Arnold for Batman Beyond's Mr. Freeze?
Oh, that would be terrible. That would be terrible.
Batman the Animated Series was made first, which means they can just continue the voice actor they had.
No, but it would be funny because all of a sudden, like Arnold Schwarzenegger, it goes from the Batman Animated Series Mr. Freeze to Arnold Mr. Freeze in Batman Beyond. And what happened? What happened? Why is he Arnold now? Because it'd be cool.
Because it would be cool.
It's cool, Anakin.
It's cool.
People are asking me,
let's continue.
how does this relate to Ayn Rand? It's like, I don't remember what happened Saturday. Saturday was a blur.
Yeah, blur of pain.
It's like, what? Those last 2 minutes, I just erased from my memory.
Yeah.
Can both
That was
rule
fun,
the
then.
galaxy together, just like he offered in The Last Jedi. Rey's desperation is a bit more clearly defined in my eyes. She traveled all over the galaxy to find a wayfinder that will aid in saving said galaxy. But while doing so, all of her repressed memories of her family have come back, and she's learned that she's the granddaughter of the Star Wars devil. And unless she's succeeds in her mission of figuring out how to get to execute...
No, why, what? He's the Star Wars devil?
Yeah, he is.
No.
No, he isn't.
Go along
He's
with
the
the
devil.
just we know what that means. He's the super evil bad man. What else
he's
do you want?
Big bad.
It's not the devil, fuck's sake.
He's the devil.
It's ATATChan.
Join
Come
with
on.
me. I will become more devilish than you can possibly imagine.
Your feeble
Fuck
escape.
it.
The galaxy
match
and the
for the
Jedi
power
of
of the
Doom.
dark
Rey is
side.
literally the last Jedi and the last hope the galaxy has in this moment. Plus,
Except
having just
Leia
faced
was also a
dark vision
Jedi.
of herself in the Emperor's vault definitely affected her emotional state big time. Rey literally stumbles out of the vault falling, dropping the one thing
Can
she
I point
desperately
out,
needs,
by the way, that
She desperately needs the fucking triangle to find the map to go to the place.
didn't
drama.
the door,
This-
Ray
the,
went into the room where the magical ghost room where the door opened up for no reason.
and somehow
But-
you can
but
do that now.
No, but she went in and then and the door closed behind her because ooh spooky. So how did she fall back through the open door?
Because we needed to cut to something dramatic. So she fell on the floor.
Death
Fucking
Star
door,
does not
I swear.
adhere to continuity. Death Star is so awesome. It does
I'll
not
try
need
falling.
to-
That's a good trick.
I'll try falling.
I'll try.
Also, that-
I'll
that's a
try
really-
vaporizing. I'll try vaporizing. That's a good trick.
Try vaping. That's a good trick. In this one, it's kind of strange because, yeah, he points out that Rey wants to find the Wayfinder. He points out that, yeah, so she gets these weird visions of the past, but they're not connected. She doesn't actually have a goal. She just wants to find the Wayfinder because so she can do the things that the script tells her she needs to be doing. She can do the adventure. And then the memories are kind of like on the side. It's kind of like your meat and potatoes. They're not together, just on the same plate. One is not driving the other. It's not like I want to. It's not like if she were going on a journey to find out these emotions or trying to connect her entire backstory. It's just I need to find the Wayfinder so I can stop Palpatine and do whatever I need to do. And any discovery of her character is just like incidental.
Also, it's so stupid that she doesn't just go with Kylo Ren and just goes along with it and then just kills Palpatine by just slashing his life support system with a lightsaber.
If you kill me, then I'll enter you. It's like, okay, life support cut. Okay, there you go. It's like, no.
Yeah.
What if she breaks the machine and then he dies of natural cause? Is that the same thing?
Maybe it was kind of
Yeah.
like what Obi-Wan was saying, how he'd become more powerful than you could possibly imagine. It's like that sort of bravado. You're like, okay. Or I could test that theory out for you right now. What about now? Okay, let's do it. Slice you in two.
Just turns out like he was just bluffing this entire time.
What the hell is he talking about? You kill me, I take over your body? Okay.
And then it didn't happen. I guess, technically speaking, he killed himself at the end because Palpatine just can't stop shooting his lightning.
What does he have to do? Does he have to strangle him with his or bare hands? Like what's the process here? How does this work there, JJ?
It's like they were going for something in like the Old Republic video game where when Valkorion dies through you killing him or not, his spirit will enter you.
Yeah.
And that but the thing is, say what you about that game. At least that was fucking explained. At least they actually followed through with like the way they used it narratively worked a whole lot better than if you kill me, I will go into you, and it's like that doesn't happen. It's like, oh well, he was lying, I guess.
I love that.
It worked.
Well, he was lying, I guess.
It worked.
It's like, hey,
yeah.
what happened to him? I killed him, and then the thing he said was going to happen didn't happen. So I guess Palpatine's just a fucking lying little shit.
Yeah, yeah. I quite like how they utilized Valkorion in Star Wars: The Old Republic. Personally, just in terms of like, it was a relatively satisfying end to that character after so many hours of watching the cutscenes.
Yeah, but could you imagine if they did something like that in The Rise of Skywalker? With a whole dreamscape of...
Oh, yeah.
That would be insane. Like, it would be crap on top of crap.
That would be...
The thing is, with you could definitely tell a story. I think Old Republic is kind of a thing. You could tell a story where, a Sith has entered, your mind, and that they're stuck with you now, and like everyone wants you because you have this Sith being inside, this powerful Sith, almost haunting you in a sense, because that you're now combined because his physical spirit died. So yeah, that can work. That's totally fine. It's the fact that it's not followed through on, and the fact that they established something would happen if he died. Nothing happens when he dies. That's the problem.
Yeah.
It would be kind of like the scenario in Dune with Alia, who's possessed by Duke Harkonnen. It's kind of an idea that's been done before. The evil lives on. And with Valkorion, it was he was the Eternal Emperor, so he just keeps possessing people, I think. So
yeah,
it's part of his shtick. I don't know what Palpatine's shtick was, though. We have no idea how he lived so long.
He's evil.
Well, the pathway of the dark side. Also, fuck up. Hey, the dark side is a pathway to many abilities some people consider to be unnatural.
Your feeble
That explains everything.
Are no match for the power of the dark side.
Cloning is a dark side stuff, I guess.
Dark science, cloning, secrets only the Sith knew.
Except that place called Camino, but I don't care about that place. They're stupid.
Who fucking cares?
Camino isn't real. It's
your
like
faith in your friends
Australia.
is your weakness.
It's like the Australia of fucking Star Wars. People think it doesn't exist.
It's not on the map.
It's like, how the fuck is, especially when they have a Clone Wars, how the hell is cloning secrets only the Sith fucking knew? That is fucking stupid, goddamn. Ugh.
Everything in this movie is stupid. It's Transformers movie logic.
All right.
Yeah.
I think Transformers, I can give Transformers more leeway than this.
Okay.
Like, this is a hot no. Why? Why is this? What is this? What are they doing?
Shall we continue?
One more super chat. We'll continue. DJM Voices, thank you. Anyone else throw up a little when they played the Darth Vader unmasking song in that scene with Dark Ray?
No, I didn't even notice that. At a certain point, I just started laughing uncontrollably, and then they asked me to leave. No, I'm just kidding. No, I kind of just was giggling in my seat. I didn't notice the noise.
Yeah.
I was watching with you guys, so I think we were laughing as well.
I just watched Mahler's. I watched Mahler's review rather than pay to see this.
I fucking remember your reaction when we first watched Rise of Skywalker. Like every 5 seconds was just what? Wait, what's happening now?
Yeah, exactly. That's really what it's like. It just doesn't make any sense. You're looking at it and you're like, why? Why? But why?
Why is this happening? Why is everybody in this movie stupid? Why
this don't make no sense. Why is it going like this?
Why was the last 2/3 of this movie utterly pointless? Because they had the stupid droid the whole time.
Yeah, they don't check the Sith droid for maybe knowing where the location of the thing is. You know, the droid that was owned by the assassin.
Logic. Fuck logic.
There's no Jedi left in the galaxy.
Fuck logic, dude.
Who assassins it. Okay, fine.
How dare you?
All right, let's keep on trucking.
Falling, dropping the one thing she desperately needs right into the hands of Kylo Ren. And then she immediately ignites her lightsaber when she sees him.
Yeah.
He's a dyad. He just knows where she is. Any part of the galaxy.
They have that twin telepathy thing going on.
Yeah.
It don't make no sense.
Fucking.
Jake, how did he get there? And how
Is he,
did no
is, he,
one
is he
else...
really trying to unironically defend the Rise of Skywalker?
Yes.
How did he get there? And how did no one, outside, like Poe or Chewie, be like, "Hey, there's a ship landing at the Death Star. We should call Rey."
I guess he tapped into his
how is-
neckbeard powers and he just teleported.
And how does Rey not immediately assume, "Oh shit, Kylo Ren's here. I bet he brought his Star Destroyer," which of course he didn't, but she doesn't know that.
He just went to teleport, nothing personal, kid, and this was there.
Hello, Dyad. And Rey be like, "How did you get here?" He's just Dyad.
Plus, parking your ship in the middle of a giant water. I don't know.
That must have been difficult. Yeah.
Wouldn't it be hit by water a few times at least? I don't know. Maybe it's.
He's just fucking. He kidnaps Rey, has the Dyad, drags them both back to the ship just to find the ship's not there. It's
Yeah,
It's-
why did
totally
he crash
gone.
so far away? There's another question right there.
But why does the fucking Falcon crash? Poe says the landing gear is busted, so why does it crash like a commercial airliner fell out of the sky? It's the
Yeah,
Millennium Falcon.
no.
It takes off vertically like a helicopter, so why does it have a huge skid mark where it's ploughed into the earth?
You know why they did that, right? So they couldn't fly to the Death Star, but then that doesn't
Yeah.
explain why the fuck they didn't just fly to the Death Star. They didn't need to land. They could just hover.
But why
could
did they
just
crash?
Hover there.
But why did they
They
crash? The
could
landing
plot.
gear's busted, so just
They could
don't
plot.
land.
Plot. You don't understand.
Stupid.
Yeah.
Anyway, there's a video here.
Yeah.
Realizing in that
Let's
moment
keep
that she's
going.
failed. In the spark of this duel is Kylo Ren crushing the Wayfinder between his fingers, which propels Rey into the most
That's
rage
some-
I think we've seen her display throughout the
God,
trilogy.
that was a
Fear and
spin.
anger leads to the dark side, and Kylo
Oh no, he's quoting Yoda. Oh no.
Okay, so with Darth Vader, even in the prequels, like if you take the prequels at face value, at least Anakin fell to the dark side because of Padme. As cheesy as it was presented to us, at least we can understand. So Rey taps into her dark side because he crushed an object that she really liked.
I
No,
guess.
no, that pyramid thing went really well with my outfit. How dare you? I'm gonna kill you now and turn to the dark side.
I'm gonna turn Sith because you broke it. Like what?
How does
was my
the
favorite
Sith
accessory.
How does the Sith Wayfinder survive the Death Star crash to the Earth and the subsequent explosion? And it also survives being on fire when Rey lights Kylo's ship on fire. Yet Kylo can also break it in the palm of his hand. What are these things made out of?
The Rise
Are
of
they really
Skywalker is not really a
strong or made
movie.
of paper?
The Rise of Skywalker is not really a movie you want to ask questions about. It's just something you just kind of have to accept or turn your brain off or something. Because if you start asking questions, you're just never going to stop. You're never going to stop
You're
asking
watching
questions.
movies wrong.
Save yourself the pain and just enjoy the trash fire that this movie is.
I'm slowly contemplating doing a every 12-minute problem for episode 9, but I just don't want to. I just don't want to start. Once I start, I'm just never going to stop. It's just like it's going to take me all year.
Yeah, and I was about to suggest that too. There's so many questions this movie raises. You could probably do how many questions a minute does it?
Yeah. In the
Force you to
first minute. Oh boy, I'd be here for at least 8 months just making episode 30 of Rise of Skywalker errors. It's like, get sick after a while.
seen her display throughout the trilogy. Fear and anger leads to the dark side. And
Why is she afraid? What are you talking about?
She has nothing to be afraid of. She's a god.
I can see the anger, but fear? What?
Fear leads to anger. Anger leads to hate. Hate leads to late
some
night
reason-
Taco Bell runs.
She's really angry, like, all the time, and yet there's no, like, signs of her turning to the dark side. Like, when she's in that throne fight and Daisy Ridley makes that really awkward scream.
Yep.
Like, she's not turning, and a lot of people say, that's good, like, it shows the complexity of the Force, and isn't necessarily dark side or light side, there's just the Force. And it's like,
Nope.
no. There's some proof that there's two different sides.
I mean, I just want to know, like, Okay, she
What are
would
the
turn to
rules?
the dark side. She would turn to the dark side. First off, nobody in the audience that is considering that this is a Disney movie and that this is the 9th movie and it's a J.J. Abrams movie is actually thinking that she's going to turn to the dark side. That's not going to happen. But in the canon of the movie, what's her motivation again? Oh, kind of just
none.
the right thing. She wants to be a good guy. Like
Following the script. That's her motivation.
Yeah. In the Phantom Force Clone Awakens, the 7th movie, I remember Daisy explaining her character was like, oh, she just seems to be like a person that's trying to figure out her way in the galaxy, trying to do the right thing. So it's like, if her character is defined by doing the right thing, then how is she ever going to turn to the dark side? Nothing that Kylo is ever going to say is going to make any sense. The only thing that she can do is turn him to the light side. And this is counter to the opposite idea, because Kylo, his only reason to be evil was because he wanted power, and he wanted power because he wanted to finish what Darth Vader started or something. It's vague. There's no, or is it from The Last Jedi where it's because Luke saw darkness in him and so then he felt betrayed? Like, none of his motivations add up. Or is it that he is in love with Rey? Or is it that all of these things are maybe hinted at, but they don't want to be clear because they know they don't actually have a core character and they don't want to piss off fans of the Reylo, and they don't want to piss off the Last Jedi fans, and they want to bring in the fans from The Force Awakens, and they want to somehow reference other shit. It's a mess. Let's dress up this turkey like it's a very
Sexy centerfold.
The latter. Next question.
Kylo crushing the Wayfinder was his final gambit to push Rey one last time towards the dark side to join him. He knows that the dark side is the future, which is why he's sent to surrender to it.
This was his master plan?
It's so stupid. No.
You know, if they really wanted this whole aspect of Rey being torn between the light and the dark side of the Force, they should have had it, hinted at it in there somewhere. George Lucas did that with Anakin. He did that overtly, and it was poorly handled, but he did it infinitely better than what he did with Rey. We could see that there was conflict within Anakin Skywalker. We tried to balance between his role as a Jedi and dealing with his strangely overt emotions. He did. Lucas did it. Why couldn't you guys do it? If that was the whole case, if that was the whole focus since the very beginning of Rey's character arc, hypothetical character arc.
Even Dave Filoni knows how to do that.
Yeah, even Dave Filoni knows how to do that.
You little bitch, huh? Dave Filoni, get out of the business because you suck.
I'm just assuming here that he's setting up the scene. So before he starts talking about fighting, because it's been 4 minutes so far, he hasn't actually talked about fighting. So
no,
Glib, I will fucking murder you.
You hear that, YouTube? This is harassment. This is white privilege.
No, you don't talk shit about Dave Filoni. Only I can talk shit about Dave Filoni. When
Dave Filoni will become more powerful than you can possibly.
Once more, the Sith will rule the galaxy.
Once more, the Sith will rule the galaxy.
Yeah, because I kind of want like a side series where like we just watch Palpatine doing day-to-day stuff, where he just like goes, he just does paperwork in the morning and like goes to get some coffee and then plots in the on break. We back to Office again with another Office series from Star Wars, but like the Office,
the chat later, but it's the Palpatine this time.
Yeah, it's called Palpatine.
Yeah,
it's called Palpatine.
It's Palpatine. It's like the Palpatine, but it's him in between episode 6 and episode 9, and he's basically just like casually setting up all of these events, and the majority of his time is just being an old man.
He's majority like the majority of his time is spent being a bureaucrat. So it'd be like him dealing with the minutia of being a bureaucrat, being chancellor and all that stuff. So it'd be really interesting to see.
Not Gungans, Nemoidians are his like assistants. So that but bring me the Wookiee treaty. But
he goes home.
To deal with.
He goes home and like puts on his slippers and his bath gown, and he just sort of goes to his kitchen to make food. He's just there. He's there.
He will bring me my coffee.
He's there with his top side of beef, and he throws it in a pot, and he's just like, Stuart.
Out of curiosity,
Yeah, Stuart is the name of his like assistant that does everything. Stuart, bring me the cream cheese.
No.
out of curiosity, who here has seen the How It Should Have Ended for Rise of Skywalker?
I believe I've seen that one.
Yeah.
Oh, it's hilarious. It is funny.
Anyway, but like,
That's what I was thinking of.
Just the idea of a Palpatine being there and like asking for regular shit is hilarious.
Yeah, but it's like regular stuff, but he's like being over, like it's kind of like evil about everything, like overly evil about everything. Like, you will give me my coffee, or it's like it's normal, but it's like an underlying sinister element to it. It's kind of like, and he's overly thinking everything, like everything is a scheme to him or something, even no matter how mundane it is. So you remember Azula from that beach episode in Avatar: The Last Airbender, where she makes up this whole plan about how to defeat the other team in volleyball by like, okay, you gotta exploit her childhood wound and stuff. It'd be like that, like Palpatine, like that, like every day. That's what make it like different. That's what make it give it like a little edge, because it's normal day-to-day minutia of bureaucracy, but Palpatine's just being really evil about everything.
After Palpatine fell down the well or whatever, and then like they found him just like Luke at the end of Empire Strikes Back. He was put in a nursing home, and this is his way to get out of the nursing home and take over the galaxy. That's how he has to do it. So he has to start scheming first to get out of the nursing home and to get like pizza or something instead of the cooked carrots, and then from there he has to go take over everything and take over the entire galaxy again as the First Order.
I could see an episode revolving around Palpatine giving this. The whole episode is like he's having this rivalry, maybe other bureaucrat or something named Karen or something, and it seemed like a really big rivalry. Like she's preventing him from getting what he needs in the Clone War. But at the very end, he reveals, finally, now I can have the best parking space.
Time he was really jealous of Yoda's parking space. It's like right next to a fucking Senate building,
like Jedi only parking spaces. Like, what if there's Jedi only parking spaces?
Why the fuck do you have a parking space right next to mine? I want to park my car here.
You know what bothers me? The Jedi get all the good parking spaces. Why the Jedi get all the good parking spaces? I'm the Chancellor. I should have the best parking space. So he does like his whole scheme for maybe it's a whole season-worthy scheme. And the season finale is that he finally expels all the Jedi, and he gets the parking spaces free up, and he gets his own preferred parking space.
Jedi are like the mafia, and they're dealing with like the labor unions and stuff. And he's like, I have to kill these Jedi labor unions. They're skimming off the public dollar.
That would be great. That'd be a great show.
Okay, gentlemen, let's continue.
And honestly, his gambit does pay off for most of the duel, as Rey does give in to her anger immediately and goes on the attack. Now, the first but very brief section of this duel takes place.
Yes, it is.
I just read that 4v me. 4v?
4v me. 4v me. Only have so much footage to use.
4v me.
But yeah, one thing, Rey's a good person. Like, Rey's apparently a good person. She's always trying to do the thing, which we don't want to do is destroy the things that she thinks accessorize her with the outfit really well. Otherwise, she'll try to literally murder you.
I'm surprised he hasn't talked about her swings, because her swings are completely ridiculous. They're just wild.
Yeah, he did. He said baseball bat, but he was like, oh, no, it's cool. It's just like the OT. Like, no, it's not. But okay.
Yeah.
Go on. You do go on then.
Which was a nice callback to Return of the Jedi. But what made the opening of this duel great was how Kylo decided to react to Rey's.
Okay, first off, she is not hitting him anywhere near his face.
No.
Look at how slow she is. Look at how sloppy she is.
Yeah.
No wonder he's dodging.
To Return of the Jedi. But what made the opening...
Who was that? Who was that?
Kylo X more like a Jedi than Rey does.
Look at that. What is this?
He's taunting
Oh my gosh.
and she's attacking.
Callback to Return of the Jedi. But
What is she doing?
Oh,
It's so bad.
It's really great how she opens this scene. She's like 3 feet away from him, swinging 45-degree angle in the air, up.
she's a professional shitty lightsaber.
Yeah.
Great.
That was Why did she bend her arm?
It's so bad.
Was how Kylo
Oh, she didn't thrust. She's going to do a spin move. Here we go.
decided to
Spinning's a good trick.
Ray's explosive attacks. Kylo evades every strike that Rey tries to land, whether she is
I mean, does he though? I mean, does he actually need a dodge? I'm pretty sure he would have evaded all those swings if he just stood still.
Just
Like,
walk
just
back.
stand on one point, and it's like, oh well, yeah, just yeah, what the fuck you got?
I was going to get shat on, but there's really no reason because it's AT-AT.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah, he says nothing.
There's nothing for him to break down.
He says nothing.
here's Alexandra Mosley again. Thank you. The devil went down to Exegol. He was looking for a soul to steal.
You know nothing, AT-AT chat.
Yeah, this every time it's an AT-AT chat video, it's a tale told by well, you know the rest.
Tail is too complimentary a term.
Signifying nothing. That's pretty good. A pretty good description of any AT-AT chat video so far as I've seen.
I'm waiting for the Kendo moves to come in. I haven't seen any yet.
Yeah, where's Kendo Ren and his obviously spot on Kendo moves?
Yeah.
Kendo Ren.
Here's DGM Voices. There's an old G4 skit, really, where Palpatine joins a temp agency after Return of the Jedi. Okay.
I gotta watch that one. What is it called though? Was it called the G4 skit?
Yeah, it was an old game channel, I think.
Yeah, I remember that now. Yeah, that was. It had what's her name? Webb, Morgan Webb,
And Adam Sessler. And
Adam.
yeah.
And then I had what's it called? Attack of the Show with Kevin Pereira.
Yeah, I remember Morgan Webb was like everyone loved her because a beautiful girl who likes video games.
Yeah,
everyone's heartthrob at the time, I suppose.
And then she got replaced by Olivia Munn, who everybody hates.
Pretty much.
Welcome to Girl Video Game Television Shallowness with Jeff Keighley.
Yeah, what can you do?
And
we can watch a video about Star Wars.
here we have some more song lyrics. Mad Courier 6. He was in a bind because he was way behind, and he was willing to make a deal. Okay. I just read off song lyrics now, I guess, in my normal voice.
Yeah.
I found it's called Darth Sidious Gets a Job. It's called Darth Sidious Gets a Job.
All right, I'll check it out later.
Fucking work at this McDonald's, but the Senate doesn't pay much these days.
Yeah, there's also a bunch of Studio C skits where they actually lampoon Disney getting Star Wars, and it's actually like, I would rather watch this than Disney Star Wars.
Darth Sidious is a good boy. He didn't do anything wrong. He was just trying to, I don't know, take over the galaxy.
Yeah.
So Kylo's acting more like a Jedi than Rey. Okay.
In terms of his evasiveness,
I guess
the Jedi are not pacifists.
I guess dodging is very much a Jedi thing.
I guess
because
he's
Jedi
not
are
attacking.
wusses.
That's the thing, because he's not attacking. That's the reason why he's a Jedi.
of course. Anything Yoda says, this AT-AT chat takes to heart, like completely.
Yeah, absolutely.
Jedi never attacks. He dodges and taunts his opponent.
Yeah, it's never like mentors tend to be kind of cryptic so their students can interpret their words. It's never that. That's never ever happened in the history of film or any sort of creative media.
Yeah, let's take it literally. He literally is acting like a Jedi because he's not attacking. Okay, thank you. Thanks for that one.
All right, let's continue. We got to finish this sometime this month.
Okay, Alexandra, thank you again. Lightning on the Death Star, run, Rey, run. Okay, that's enough. I think we're going to stop with the
she is stabbing at him or slicing. He is
What is this? That's not a stab? What is that? That's a thrust? What are you aiming at?
Again, Kylo doesn't even need to evade these swings. He just has to move back a little
tries
bit.
to land, whether she is stabbing at him.
sucks as
Or
a
slicing,
sword fighter.
he's-
She's so terrible.
Where was that aiming? My goodness.
Like right above his head. It wasn't even subtle. That's so terrible. It's like that stuff about Daisy Ridley kicking up the choreography in real life. That's so BS.
From episode 8.
The choreography was nothing, pretty much.
Yeah. So
Shit.
Have
stupid.
you noticed she's doing the wide squat, parallel feet stance as well? That's
Yeah.
Yeah.
Perpendicular to the target.
you're not braced. If she took a swing and you sort of stepped forward and just sort of pushed her, she's got no balance.
Yeah.
Give her a
It's
little
essentially
tap on the
like
shoulder.
yeah, like me as a fencer, I am putting one foot in front of my foot in order to keep my balance and quickly move along the fencing lane. That's just how it works, and it's the same thing with HEMA. Are the choreographers on this idiots?
Yes.
I guess they are. They're so bad. How is it that we haven't seen a really good sword fight since Lord of the Rings? At least that I can think of.
When's there a sword fight in the Lord of the Rings?
Well, the sword fight between Lurtz and Aragorn.
Oh, okay.
Like, I can't think of a really good sword fight like that in anything other than perhaps Game of Thrones.
Recently.
Like the sword fight between Ned Stark and Jaime Lannister. Chef's kiss. That sword fight is great. But it's like we haven't really gotten a good sword fight in movies in a long time, and this is just like painfully obviously awful.
All right.
Easily avoiding it all. And it reminded me a lot of how Luke engaged Kylo and Crate with his ducking and dodging of every strike Kylo tried.
Is he really gonna try and draw a power? So he's gonna say, "Oh well, Kylo learns." Like Kylo didn't learn fucking shit. Do you really think the filmmakers put this much thought into the film? Do you really think they put that much thought into the film?
Parallels and symbolism.
No, he's gonna say that Kylo learned from his last battle with Luke. That's what he's gonna say. I know he's gonna say that. I haven't seen it, but I know he's gonna go that route. It's fucking ATAT chat. I will eat my fucking flex tape if he doesn't say, "Oh, Kylo learned from his past battle," because he's trying to make it look like it has more depth than it actually.
But the real question is, what's the symbology there? You know, what's symbology? It's not symbology; it's symbolism. But when it's AT-AT, have you ever seen I'm just kidding. Boondock Saints is like, what's the guy asking? What's symbology there? So that's why I need to have that clip for when I watch videos like these. Well, what's the symbology there?
At least
it symbolizes ripping shit off.
At least in this scene, Luke is actually getting out of the way of a clear hit.
Yeah, that's so badly choreographed.
It's ridiculous.
So badly telegraphed.
But at least it would have been a clean hit.
But he makes a Matrix move.
Right. Yeah.
That would have broken his back.
It all makes sense if you come to the conclusion that Rey and Kylo Ren are not actually trying to kill people.
Yeah.
What are they doing then?
Or that the filmmakers have the brain cells of monkeys.
Well, that's true.
Someone just opened a beer.
I wish I had a beer.
12 beers for all my General Grievouses.
I think that's my chair clicking, since for some reason my phone, the speaker on my phone is really good.
I had a beer open up. I know the sound of a beer.
Yeah.
It's the sound of my chair clicking. It's not a beer.
Cigarette.
Yeah, my Sawwell didn't fart on national TV. The mug just moved across the table.
I got a French press going right now. I got a little bit of a cigar going, so I'm ready to I don't know, oppress some proletariat.
I don't think we're gonna get through this, guys. This is gonna be pretty bad.
There might need to be a part two, but I think so far we're doing a pretty good job of debunking this man's happiness.
Yes. If we destroy his happiness, we can go to phase 2 of destroying everybody's happiness.
Yeah, I mean, I need
Yeah.
those tears. That's what I live on, you know. Those delicious,
Yeah.
delicious tears.
Yes,
Yeah,
that is
especially Raylo tears.
and empowers the devil of
Especially
literature.
Raylo. And the most delicious of tears are the Raylo tears.
Yeah,
It's like Monsters Inc. That's how we get our energy.
Yeah, exactly. Raylo tears specifically. It's like eating frosting. You don't want to do it, but it's just so delicious.
It's just so delicious. Sorry, I was gonna make another Dune reference, like by the lips of Sappho.
Oh dear. Here's Mad Courier 6. I'll raise a can of Angry Orchard juice, but well, hey, I don't know. That sounds like a decent American cider, isn't it? So, someone's drinking for me. That's good enough, I guess.
I like cider.
Cider's great. Got some good ciders in Ontario, but sadly, I haven't been out lately.
No. All right, let's get
Tried
back to
land.
start
And because Rey can't land one blow, it pushes her deeper into her anger. It's basically what
Yes, she's more angry. Right.
Yes,
No.
terrible aim.
She's actually trying to hit him. No wonder she's angry. If
Arrgh.
she's that bad, anyone would be angry.
I can't hit you. I'm so angry.
She simultaneously is able to defeat Luke very easily, and also sucks.
And is going to the
Yeah.
dark side because she's getting angry. Okay.
It's like, yeah, it's the fate of the galaxy, the pendulum of the Force, the Last Jedi. It's all just because some girl is angry because she can't.
I guess
hit
it's her.
That
I guess
sounds
it's her
just
time
like
of the
a
month.
day.
It sounds like her. Guess it's her time of the month.
Yep.
Did you
We
make
saw-
a sexism joke?
Yes, he did. Report him to the FBI.
Oh, that's offensive.
That's just
You
your
can't make
opinion.
that- You can't
That's just your
make
opinion.
those kind of these days.
That's just your opinion, and it doesn't have to be necessarily that she's it could just be that she's having a bad time of the month on video games or her training. It doesn't
Lies.
necessarily have to be biological.
I sense a plot to destroy the Jedi.
Unless you're J.K. Rowling, then it's always talking about transsexual rights. It's never. It can't just be about a woman. It has to be about transsexual rights. I like being a woman. Trans. You're a turf. What are you talking about?
Somebody shut that woman up.
I'll see you all at Femboy Hooters.
Somebody shut J.K. Rowling out. Even people on the left think she's stupid.
It was pretty interesting because she essentially wrote the far left weirdo Bible, Harry Potter. I don't know
Yeah.
why you like it so much, but that's the book they always hold up to. That's why the whole meme "read another book" came out, because it's the only book they would ever reference.
Yeah. Like, you remember School of Movies where he brings up that this Star Wars took more from the Star Wars of the modern day, which was Harry Potter, in terms of special blood is something that Tom Riddle obsesses about. You remember that, Literature Devil?
I don't remember that one. I remember the special blood thing.
Yeah. Yeah. I think let's continue. I'll leave this special blood rant for another day.
Yes, we must get back to Rey being more and more angry.
Yeah. She's in
from her training with the remote in the first act. Kylo dodges 7 of Rey's strikes before he ignites his blade to meet hers, and that's because she's delivering an overhead strike. And visually,
Could've
as I
just
said,
stepped
this
aside.
sequence is very impressive. It just demonstrates how in control of the situation Kylo is, while Rey is aimlessly attacking him, and she's not even realizing how she's playing into Kylo's wishes of surrendering to the dark side.
Oh God! Can we stop now?
No, we need to suffer through the rest of it.
She's going to the dark side because he ignited his saber and then he stopped and he jumped out and okay. This is like a 6-year-old thinking to himself.
6-year-old is too much of a compliment. I was thinking 3 or 4-year-old.
I already know he's gonna fucking try and strike the stream, isn't he? Again.
Go for it.
He's gonna tweet.
Go for it.
He's like, "Oh, they're covering me again." Oh,
We could try.
oh,
He could absolutely try, and then Smudboy can defend it, and then Smudboy's channel becomes more bulletproof.
No, but you just know no matter what, he's gonna fucking cry on Twitter again.
For months. Now, just for a little bit, he's gonna pull the ATATChan and just harbor this hatred for months because we covered one of his videos.
Mr. AT Chat, please collect your tears. I believe they taste lovely, like Gatorade.
I have them. I have them already. I just instantly collect them. It's just because it's just that delicious.
Can I share? Can you share?
Absolutely, I absolutely love the monkey people's happiness. I love those tears. Those are the best tears, Chad. Best tears, believe me.
This is just one of those times where it's like somebody really, really enjoys this content and wants to justify it and wants to present it in a way that is respectable, but it's not. It's not. Yeah, exactly. It's just not. There's no
meaning. There's no meaning. There's no substance. There's no nothing to it. It's just technical bad.
Well, it's funny because it's like that's exactly what I think JJ was going for. Is what like ATAT is the perfect audience for it.
Yeah.
Because he's not thinking just as much as JJ. So they're at the proportion. It's like message sent, message received.
Yeah, that's kind of the thing. It's just JJ. Like for whatever reason, a lot of these people. Like Patrick, love The Last Jedi, hate Rise of Skywalker. Same with Just Right.
Yeah.
It's so weird.
I've been meaning to do a video on that because I'm quite sure the arguments he uses are the same. And
they're very similar, yes. It's almost like they're a hive mind.
Okay, here's a super chat from Anihia Jones. Thank you. Rey never beat Luke. She got mad and pulled a lightsaber after he dismissed her with a stick, or disarmed her with a stick. Why do people keep saying she beat him? He tripped. Okay.
I mean,
he's supposed to be this master.
If I'm having a sword fight with Smud and then I trip over a rock and I'm on the ground and Smud points his sword at me like, yes, you have now been beaten because I fucked up, then yes.
Well, I mean, remember
one by definition because I am on the floor defenseless.
Remember Kill Bill? That movie Kill Bill. I believe it was part 2 where you meet Pai Mei and how he's like this ultimate master. I don't think I would take him as seriously if he was meeting Beatrix Kiddo and they fought so that she could earn her way into his tutorship. I don't think I would really take him seriously if they fought and then he tripped and lost her as soon as she met him. The masters aren't supposed to be doing that. At least not right away.
So dumb.
All right, we can keep going, but this is getting sad.
Yeah, it's so much reaching.
What if Yoda failed getting the X-wing out of the swamp? Oh, I guess it is impossible.
Never mind.
Yeah, never mind.
Nothing is impossible. Just do it.
Nothing's impossible for Rey, you mean?
Everybody learn to be a Mary Sue, okay? And then we'll all make it.
Why can't just everyone just be born perfect, I guess?
Yes. Yeah. Well, because you're not a woman and not a beautiful flower of the desert that has just magical qualities and everybody in her life is just trying to bring her down.
Why can't everyone just be a member of Rey's master race?
Moving is going to lead us to the future that we deserve.
And who never shuts her mouth.
Star Wars was always stupid. That's why you like it, because you're a fucking big dumb fanboy.
It is.
And you're a racist.
That's the swear word that's the wonderful word of the month. Anything you say that someone disagrees with, you're a racist.
Yeah, it's all day long. Yeah, you would think that because you have privilege. Listen, I'm the pop culture detective. I speak very calmly. Okay, with a little bit.
We need to cover him. We need to cover Jonathan McIntyre.
Masculinity is what led Rey to the dark side.
Come on. Maggie May Fish is worse. Maggie May Fish is worse than Jonathan McIntosh.
Yeah, but Jonathan is actually warped.
Schmott mouth. That's what he deserves.
Like, I think May is just having fun and acting about some feminist bullshit, but he is like, no, 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 no. Women are perfect. Men are the devil. You're like, wait, what? No.
Yeah, he's a true believer. He's a true believer.
So are we stopping here then?
Yes.
You want to stop, guys?
I don't. This is great.
We haven't been going for that long, have we?
We've been going for
2 hours.
2.5 hours.
Yeah, two and a half
hours.
almost. We can go for
I've been on
a few more minutes. How's that? We'll go for a few more minutes.
I've already been here for an hour and a half.
Let's reach the outside of the Death Star first.
All right.
Also, 10 points for hilarious heel clicks when Kylo jumps to a lower level of the Death Star. That was amazing. Now,
Was it?
It was amazing.
Heel clicks.
It was amazing, guys. Heel clicks are amazing.
Heel
What is this
clicks.
Wizard of Oz?
It's amazing, amazing heel clicks. Oh, we'll fucking give it a round of applause. Congratulations.
Is he being serious or he's just kidding around? I don't know anymore.
I don't know either. This is I friggin' hate the Wizard of Oz. I find it annoying and saccharine, and I'm just like, what?
You were following the destroyed Star Destroyer road. Sorry,
Yeah.
road.
Oh.
My
Yeah.
brain is too tight.
I'm pretty sure it's
My
a
brain
joke,
is either
but my
melted
heart
or
is cold,
tired.
so I don't feel humour.
Yeah, let's just keep going.
Yeah.
fortunately, there's a huge gap in this duel. The duel picks back up when they are both outside of the wreckage,
All of a
completely
sudden, we're
engulfed by the
outside.
ocean.
Ooh, wow.
Yeah,
Thank you for pointing that out.
He did point this out. He's not completely daft. It's great. He made the connection between scenes. There's a big room and the big up above the rest of the Death Star, and all of a sudden they're on the bottom. It's like, okay, yeah, you're right. Big jump.
Yes, this is true.
You know,
And it's
at least
raging
this isn't
waves.
A fucking thing of counting shots. At least he's not
Yes.
saying, "Oh look, here's a shot. Here's another shot. Here's another shot," and that's an argument.
At least it wasn't. And then sailing there outside, it's brilliant. It feeds into blah 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 blah. Motif, motif, motif. Symbol, symbol, symbol.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I don't
There was-
even know what they're supposed to be standing on, by the way.
Yeah, we're not
What are
sure
they
either.
standing
No one
I
knows.
don't know either. Like a pillar, maybe that got broken off. I don't know.
It's a very round pillar.
It's like they're standing.
precisely.
It's whatever you feel that it is.
Any more to this fight inside of the Death Star, it's on the cutting room floor. Even the novel basically says, and somehow they were outside, because that's just kind of how it feels. So that's a little nitpick that I have right there.
Because of how it
Now,
feels.
That is not that's a legitimate problem, not a nitpick.
Can you imagine
That's
writing that
legit.
in a novel? Say, I'm going to watch this movie and then just write it down in the novel in my own words. And somehow they got outside.
What if Obi-Wan and Anakin were just fighting on Mustafar, then suddenly they're on Hoth? Suddenly they were on Hoth. Okay, let's move on.
But here's the thing: you've got the chance in the novelization to show that bit of how they got from A to B, but they just sort of went, "Yeah, no, they're here." You didn't want to write in a few pages of Kylo running and parkouring through the thing, and then I don't know, jumping out of a window and landing here, and Rey following.
Yeah, it's like 2 kilometers or something, at least.
He could literally jump down a couple of floors, saw an open window, jumped, and this was just sat there because it's obviously a higgledy-piggledy mess. So
That it's pretty obvious that JJ wanted this all to be the antithesis of the duel on Mustafar in a
No, the antithesis? How is it the antithesis?
Because it's water, not fire.
yeah,
the
It's not
only
an
premise.
antithesis.
look, it's blue instead of red.
And it's poorly choreographed instead of overly choreographed.
No, we've never gotten a 0G space and spacesuit lightsaber fight. That would be dope. Where you just can't get hit or else you'll be killed in the vacuum.
You'd be using the Force to bounce around in 0G.
Off of asteroids and stuff. Yeah. Creativity. Something like that. I don't know. Fuck me.
Yeah. Yeah, creativity's dead.
So somehow lava is the antithesis of the ocean? Okay.
I think that holds some measure of water. Pun intended. Pun intended.
Instead of characters with a developed relationship, they're two characters that have barely any relationship.
All right, maybe the inverse. How's that? Okay.
Visual sense and a spiritual one. The duel wasn't going to
A spiritual sense. Really? Can you elaborate on your spirituality there, sir?
What exactly is spiritual about that? Oh, is it because he has a hallucination about his dead father?
Coming up?
That's
Yeah.
horsepower or something?
But that has nothing to do with the duel between him and Rey.
Yeah. Keep going. Just keep going.
of someone falling to darkness, but
Let's
of
finish
someone
this.
metaphorically being reborn in the light. So
Metaphorically being reborn in the light. What are you talking? Where? Who? What? Rey? Is she being reborn because she was going to the dark side now, or are we talking about Kylo here, who's somehow being
Are we
reborn?
getting... Is this a metaphor for water breaking?
Aye.
Is this a...
During the scene, to me, Kylo Ren just looks like a guy who just got pranked in his dorm. Like after this, when he emerges fully from this thing, he just looks like he's really angry at his roommates because they dunked water on him or something. They had that little trick where they put a bucket of water on top of a slightly open door, and he came in and just fell on him. That's what it looks like when after this little scene.
He looks like he's just gotten out of the bath.
When I was in university, we had obviously shared rooms first year, and it was like big long flat, and you all had singular rooms, but you basically shared a floor and a kitchen. One of our friends went home for 2 days. We decided to fill his sink full of water in his bathroom and put watercress in there. And I don't know if you know watercress, but that shit.
Yeah, it's a small fish.
So he came back after 2 days, opened up his dormitory room to find watercress everywhere. He gave us the exact same look Kylo Ren has right here.
I have to That's fantastic.
I can't believe he's fucking done that.
Put a bunch of water in my damn.
Same exact look.
He had to get a pair of scissors to cut his way into his bathroom.
No, that's horrible. That's great though.
Best joke I ever did.
Brilliant. It's brilliant.
water comes in handy at helping convey that message.
It's like,
and
fuck
for
you.
Rey,
Why did you do
she's
this?
slowly losing her own inner struggle to tame her darkness.
No.
No. She's
She
just
isn't.
fighting, okay? There's no spiritual conflict, okay? She's angry, sure, I'll give you that.
Yeah, that's clear. Because it should be that way. If this were the case, if this were actually a case of her losing the battle of the light side, turning the dark side, then it'd be a lot clearer than this. I would need someone to point this part out because it would be very, very important and central and integral to the development of her character. It wouldn't be something you would want to be missed by the audience, and it should be given more emphasis, like connected and focused on, talked about before this even ever comes up. Like, to a degree where it becomes significant.
You're right. You'd have to know what is going to the dark side when you get angry. Can you feel negative other thoughts coming with that? Is it like a break of training? Is someone like watching over? You say, hey, no, stop that. Stop right now. You're doing it wrong. You're giving into your emotion or whatever. So
I think it's just dark thoughts. Like, it's supposed to be a metaphor for how in our life, like, the dark side is a set of things. It's hatred. It's not being able to of things, it's obsession, it's all these different elements, and then the way that it's written into the narrative is through things that regular people have, like a dream or like a feeling or a thought where you see the future or whatever that is that people get. It's supposed to impact you that way so you can relate to it.
But just getting angry and fighting with a lightsaber doesn't mean you're going to the dark side. It's just
well, so like they're putting way too much emphasis into the theory of how anger can lead to the dark side, because what is she getting angry about, really? That's the problem. Why anger? Because he broke the Wayfinder. Like, they can't just have a regular conversation because he's just like, join the dark side. Just come on.
You broke my whatchamacallit. I'm going to go to the dark side now and kill you. Like, what?
Why? Like, because you just want to be Darth Vader. It's like, what the fuck? That's all?
All right, we got 2 super chats. This is from the same conversation we had about episode 8. Rey made the fight unfair when she pulled the lightsaber. She basically pulled a knife in a boxing match, and the movie acts like there's nothing wrong. Sure, she pulled out a deadlier weapon.
Yes, but here's the thing. If I fight Jackie Chan with my fists and then I pull out a knife, I still expect to get my ass kicked.
Yep.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. Andrew Clark, watch Michael Bay Got Milk. Great storytelling.
Oh. No.
His movie Got Milk. Not Michael Bay
really?
Got Milk. Okay.
I hate Michael Bay.
That was his first one, wasn't it? Milk Money?
I don't know.
I thought it was Milk Money.
Maybe. The only ones I know him from are Pain and Gain, the Benghazi movie, and the Transformers movies, and The Rock, and Bad Boys.
Okay.
What are we talking about?
Michael Bay's commercials?
Uva.
Fuck
Yeah.
Michael. Here's my Michael Bay story. Just as a quick. Michael Bay, Transformers 2, stunt, they need 2 cables. He's like, hurry up, let's get this shot. So they only hook up one. The fucking cable rips. It hits, goes right into the car that they're using to throw around. Basically, that's what the cable's for. And permanently injures and harms the stunt actress that is inside the car. And that's all because they needed to hurry up for Michael Bay. So fuck Michael Bay. I'm never working with him. But I understand that he makes some pretty images. Every frame of painting does a good job explaining what he does. He copies like the West Side Story looks, and he's trying to put together shots that he thinks look good with other shots, even if they don't emotionally connect properly. JJ, what his problem is that he copies the exact same thing, but he does it with emotions. So he'll try to copy a Spielberg shot for emotion, where Michael Bay will do an action shot. I'm sure JJ is not a piece of shit that gets people harmed. I think he's a piece of shit that doesn't care about people's fucking memory of something. He just abuses your nostalgia every turn by copying stuff.
It's called weaponized nostalgia. Yeah.
No, it's called, you know how there's the nostalgia keys where you jingle it in front of something. It's sort of like someone is like, hey, look, here's your nostalgia. So JJ has invented something called the nostalgia bat. So what he does is he basically says, hey, look, here's the keys. Whack! Fucking whacks you over the head with your nostalgia and starts beating to death with it while stealing your money.
Hey, do you remember this thing?
Yeah, it's like, hey, do you remember this thing? Wha-bah!
The member berries from South Park. You remember? You remember, right?
Yeah. Let's keep going.
Here's a super
Let's
chat
at least
from
get to.
Goose again. Why would Rey fall to the dark side? PMS.
I like how he spelled it R-A-Y. Like, hey, why would Rey fall to the dark side? Remember Rey Skywalker? I mean Palpatine from down 24th Street. He used to play in the same baseball team. I thought he was like a mechanic, but I guess he had Jedi powers. He's gonna turn to the dark side. Why? I don't know. He needed the money for his kids because his bitch of an ex-wife would want him to pay.
Aye, perfect. That's you interview Luke Skywalker's friends from Tatooine. It's kind of.
Yeah.
However, she's not truly going to go to the dark side. And another thing I want to...
Okay, so then what's your argument? She's going to, but not really? Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't like this guy's explanation. He's wishy-washy.
What explanation?
He makes a claim, and he goes, well, it's not really going to happen. Like, well, then why did you make it?
Yeah. Just doesn't make any sense.
to point out is that this bridge that they are on, or whatever you want to call it, is supposed to also remind us of Han going after his son.
No, it's not.
Last time on Starkiller Base, Han made one final desperate attempt to bring his son back to the light, and here's Kylo Ren, desperate to get Rey to finally surrender to the darkness inside of her.
Not necessarily.
Yeah.
Where are you getting... How? They're just facing each other. We don't know what's going on, what they're going to do. Why? He broke a thing that she wanted. She got angry. They're fighting. That's it. That's the context.
they're having a confrontation on a narrow walkway. It's like poetry. It rhymes, kind of.
Kind of, maybe, yeah.
And
I
as
would
you
say
know-
at this point it's ripping off.
Oh boy, look at the similarity. Yeah, it's great.
Both of these scenes have very similar climaxes. Now, back on the exterior of the Death Star, both Rey and Kylo are dueling one-handed. To me, it always looked like Kylo is letting Rey tire herself out while continuing to evade everything that she has. But there is one moment where it looks like Kylo tries to circle parry Rey's lightsaber right out of her hand, and then he fails to do so.
Circle parry. Okay, that is a technique.
First time you brought in an actual sword move.
Yeah. And I think he's referring to circle parrying to remove the weapon from the hand, but you need a hilt to do that. You can't just do it.
If Kylo Ren's trying to tire Rey out, surely holding his sword with two hands would mean he would tire less quickly, because he's, holding something with two hands instead of one, swinging with two hands instead of one.
You're just going to wear one hand out faster.
He doesn't exactly have a very conservative stance for fighting. In fact, if he's trying to wear Rey out, he wouldn't stand in the exact same way she is. He'd take a different pose. He'd play defensive and be conservative with the energy he uses. But no, he's standing and holding his weapon exactly like she is.
And it's not
thinking too
like the way that it's being shown on the screen. I don't know if you guys are familiar with fencing, but that's a really wide circle. A circle parry is very small, and it's a thrust move. It's not a whatever he's trying to explain here, whatever they're doing on screen. So glad he brought it up. Can you get the actual term right, what they're doing on screen?
Says Kylo Ren probably thinks that once she is disarmed, she will have no other option than to go with him to
How are you going to disarm someone with a circle parry? You're going to lop her wrist off.
Yeah, it's more like a dishanded, not a disarmed.
Oh boy.
Couldn't he? Do you remember when Kylo could just freeze Rey on the spot with the Force?
Yeah, or
does that with
freeze.
a lightsaber
No,
instead.
nobody remembers that. No, that never happened. Now,
Yeah.
the writers especially never couldn't remember.
He freezes the lightsaber in the air with the Force, and he doesn't just fucking straight up murder her. It's like, yes, my fucking weapon is stuck in the air. I can't move. I can't block. I can't attack. It's like I'm completely open, but nothing will happen.
Or I block it and I can't just stab forward and hit her in the leg and cripple her.
In the first movie, he just casually stopped a blaster bolt in place.
Yeah,
Or not, like
You
a
remember
blaster, whatever it is, a blaster bullet.
you remember that when he was actually intimidating, and then they just move, and then they ruin it. But,
It was in the same movie, too, where they ruined it.
yeah.
Started
There's
off
just
cool, then
this-
it went, ooh. Then Rey came by and just destroyed him. Like 3 times.
But no, guys, Kylo Ren was injured. Obviously, he would have lost.
All right, let's go to 7 minutes. I think we'll call it a day.
Yeah.
Again, he's not really interested in killing Rey yet. In the
I agree. He's not. He doesn't actually want to kill her. I admit that too. Yeah. Although what he's trying to do, I don't know.
Yeah, Kylo Ren, like, it's the nostalgia critic. Stop looking for logic in Michael Bay movies. Random juvenile crap happens, things explode, and people enter their wallets to see it.
He's there for a lightsaber fight. That's it. I don't know what else
Yep.
he's there for, but I do know what he's there for, and that's a lightsaber fight for the trailers and the poster. You can't have the movie cover without that fight. So
One of my
Lots of
favorite
different
things, one of my
I'll read
favorite
the book cover anyway.
in Star Wars that I rarely hear any of these people talk about is the luminous beings are we, not this crude matter. It's like Star Wars sequels are crude matter. They're not like luminous, beautiful, light, warm-hearted, well choreographed and crafted. They're rough and they're blunt.
They're coarse and they're rough and they get everywhere.
Yeah, some of them are more coarse than others, but Essentially, yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Novel,
Yeah,
it
I
makes it
think,
clear that Rey is really harnessing her anger to enhance her abilities in the Force during this fight. The reason she's able to perform the jumps she does is because of the power she feels inside her as she fights Kylo Ren. But unfortunately,
What the hell are you talking about? She used the Force to jump. That was it. She can feel the energy in her loins as she flexes upward and downward. We know how jumping works, sir. Thank you.
for Rey, Kylo Ren is basically unstoppable. His guard is unbreakable, and over time, he is literally going to wear her down completely. When Rey and Kylo do lock up, and they see the first encroaching wave, these enormous swells coming at them, we see that power that Rey can harness.
Now
because
he's
of her
mentioning this,
rage,
it's
and
really
she
funny
jumps
in context, because Rey defeats him like every single time in the first two movies. Every single time they fight or they clash, Rey beats him in one way or another, whether it be at the very end of Force Awakens, or the fact that she was able to regain consciousness and after the throne womb scene, and not only just gain consciousness, but leave, steal a ship, and escape before Kylo Ren could even recover. She beats him every single time they encounter. Now that she's actually had some modicum of training, she becomes more mortal. She becomes worse. Training actually decreased her skills, actually lowered her power level a little bit, going by what we see in context.
Apparently what he's saying is Kylo's winning the fight, so it's like, okay. How does that make any sense?
Rey wins every time she faces Kylo, and then she gets training, and then she starts losing to him. What is that?
Rey's just not interesting, and people are like, "No, what are you talking about? Of course she's interesting. She's just like all these other characters." It's like, no, she's not. There's no other protagonist that's loved. Stop trying to astroturf this character. That like people like characters proportionally to how they are able to connect with them. Luke Skywalker is easy for people to connect with. You don't have to be a farmer boy. You don't have to be a swordsman. You can connect with what's going on. Rey, I don't know what exactly I'm expected to connect with, because my life is nothing like her. I don't have any internal struggles about, oh my goodness, I'm so great. You know, I'm so.
I think very few people have wow, I'm so awesome. I have so many problems in my life because I'm so awesome. I don't know what to do with all this awesomeness. I don't think very many people have those problems.
All right, so she's using the internal force of her legs to jump across a chasm. All right.
right before the wave crashes down on them. And watching Kylo jump through the air after Rey, while we see the tiny faint glow of his red lightsaber, honestly might be the best frame of this entire duel. It's definitely something that's not been seen so far in this trilogy, but it harkens back to the prequel.
It's not really all that dramatic. It is kind of funny, just playing leapfrog across the Death Star.
It's really high. That's like 6 or 7 stories. That's really high up there.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
Like, look at that. That's
huge. It's insane.
And they're like putzing around, swinging swords at each other. They can just like throw each other into the water if they wanted.
And Finn be like, "Wow, I've just been abandoned here by my best friend." Great.
It's definitely something that's not been seen so far in this trilogy, but it harkens back to the prequels. And this circles back to why I like the direction of this duel. Visually, it's one of the most impressive fights in this trilogy. When they both reach the other side of the chasm, it's back to trading equal blows at this point. From here on out, I think Kylo Ren is beginning to accept that Rey will never surrender to him.
Okay, first he was dominating, now they're trading equal blows, and now he's giving up? Like, what's going on here? How could you read into this so much?
You are extrapolating so much from nothing. It's ridiculous.
And nothing has changed in the beginning of the battle here. They start fighting, and then they continue on from there. No emotional change. No new anything. There's no twists and turns. There's no Luke Skywalker hitting Darth Vader on the shoulder and then he becoming, ramping up the skill, ramping up the brutality. None of that. It just remains flat and even throughout the whole entire sequence.
There's no new tactic. There's no new strategy. No one's at an advantage. It's just the same thing over again.
Like, what is it really like? And I know Mahler hates it when I do this, but like, it's two people on a piece of prop, like a big set piece, and then a green screen with some water hitting them. Like that. Where's the life in it? What's
Why
the
would Maula hate that? That's exactly what this is.
Well, because it's like, you know, I'm memeing a little bit there, but it's like I bring up the meta a lot of the time, and like in the story, obviously, there's nothing to connect to the characters that has to do with either of their backgrounds or their culmination. There's nothing to do thematically or narratively or character-wise that ties them to Return of the Jedi at all. They don't know where they are in relation to themselves personally. What they're fighting for is not defined, right? We didn't really settle on anything. What are they fighting for?
And people tend to really make fun of Dragon Ball Z, the fights in Dragon Ball Z. But you know what Dragon Ball Z fights have? They have twists and turns in them. For example, I mean, everyone knows the original fight with Frieza and Goku. I mean, most people do. Where Goku fights Frieza, and then he's like, Frieza's like, it's not even my final form. And he has like several different forms he goes to. It changes the fight every single time. That's what I mean by change in dynamics and rising stakes between the same fight. You have even Frieza facing Goku and Frieza in his final form, supposedly final form, and then the stakes get raised when Frieza's like, okay, let me overpower and become my true final form. It's like 150% power, or something like that. And so what that does is raise the stakes. That way, the one fight, even though it's one continuous fight, things change, things move, and it becomes more dynamic. There's one part where Goku has that spirit bomb thing, and the stakes change because you don't want Frieza to find out. Will Goku be able to gather enough power and defeat Frieza with it? And then stakes change when Frieza gets hit with the spirit bomb, and then change again when he survives, and then more things happen, and it just changes. There's just so many things happening in this one continuous battle. It remains interesting for many episodes, and I mean, it's become a meme by now, but it's way different. That's what I mean. It's more of the fight between Frieza and Goku is very overt, very clear example of what I'm talking about.
I mean, by many episodes, I assume you mean because it lasts like 10 fucking episodes.
Yeah, it's a very long 5 minutes.
And it doesn't really matter because Dragon Ball Z is garbage.
Ooh, don't care at all about that. Let's keep going.
Akira Toriyama.
He isn't giving in to the gambit. In the novel, it even tells us that according to Rey, only one of them is getting out of there alive. And from a certain point of view, that's true. Now, it does look like Kylo goes in to stab Rey at one point, but he's parried quickly, with Rey bringing her lightsaber down on top of his. And he's locked in this with Rey for a moment. And Rey's keeping him there just long enough to try to trap him in another gigantic wave. And I thought this was a smart use of
She can literally just lift the sword up and take his head off.
Yeah.
But she doesn't, because reason.
Now would be the perfect time to take out a blaster. Like she has.
So anyway, stop blasting.
So anyways, I just started blasting at Kylo.
He just pulls an Indiana Jones, he takes out a pistol and shoots Kylo in the face.
Yeah, he's so tired. He's like, I don't give a shit. Pow.
If she did that, I would have way more respect. But because everything is just like, oh no, I'm trying to kill you, but not really.
Sorry, chat. Search your feelings. You know it's true. Dragon Ball Z is terrible.
I don't want to get stuck on Dragon Ball Z. I don't want to get into some side argument. I think we can finish this video because we're charged at this point. It's like, oh yeah, of course.
They don't like me.
Everybody attack voice on the radio. You know what to do. Destroy.
Hey, I'll let you into another secret. I'll let you into another secret. Avatars know better.
Oh, you heard him, chat. Use your fists and your feet now. You got him.
Yeah, that was a terrible James Cameron movie. I agree.
Yeah, I don't get why it made so much money. Well, probably because that year was terrible for movies. It was like rule of contrast.
Highest grossing films, though. That's the question.
I still haven't seen it. I still don't care.
It's honestly, it's not worth seeing.
It's vapid nothing. The only thing good about it is the visuals. The plot and the characters are BS cut and paste from other movies like Pocahontas, Dances with Wolves.
The fact they have unobtainium in it is just hilarious to me.
Yeah. It's so stupid. They couldn't even come up with a good name for it.
Unobtainium because it's unattainable. Great. Fantastic.
Use the plot device, quick, to get past the plot point.
Basically, yeah.
Nice start.
The wave could knock Kylo off of the bridge. And visually, seeing that blade in the water vapor and Kylo's lightsaber scorching the top of the bridge, it was very neat. And weirdly, this moment does not exist in the novel. In the book, Rey just flips out of the way to safety at the last moment and Kylo doesn't. But in the movie, it's conveyed like a calculated action to make sure Rey can gain the upper hand momentarily, or at least catch a breath. Now, for a moment, it does seem like maybe he was washed away, but then Kylo emerges from the crashing waves like nothing happened. Not even the raging ocean can stop him from his goal of turning Rey. Now,
So what's the big point of jumping away from this water wave if it doesn't do anything to you?
ATATChan chat has more twists and turns and flip-flops than this actual fight does.
So dumb. Why does this thing exist?
Because
So bad.
The obvious question is, why did we do this?
Yeah.
Because it's
Because Rey as a character is stupid.
People asked him to do this, and he did it. And I don't know what causes someone to look at a bad fight scene and go, let's find meaning here, and try to rationalize what's good about it. When you look at it, it's like, no, there's really nothing. It's very surface level. It's lots of water hitting it. That's it. There's nothing.
it's very water surface level, obviously.
Yeah.
Yeah, apparently.
Yeah, no, literally, that's all it is. Water is hitting you. It doesn't affect anything. Doesn't mean anything.
This is where the music enters into the duel, and Kylo Ren switches up his strategy because now it seems like he wants to teach Rey a lesson. At least, this is how I'm reading the following sequence of events. And the music is mostly dissonant tones punctuated by hits that kind of sound like something is getting stabbed. It's not as elegant as The Last Jedi's musical compositions or, something like Battle of the Heroes, but the tone matches what we are seeing on screen, no doubt. Kylo goes into a reverse hand grip and then delivers a
That's not a
lightning-fast
thing.
strike, which
lightning fast. VCR repair.
I'm pretty sure Shad would confirm that reverse grip is not a thing.
Mm-hmm.
Why would he do that? What advantage did that give him?
Why would you
He goes reverse grip on that.
That looks so awkward the way he's bent
Yeah,
his arm.
it's so bad.
Why
Why
would
not
you
just double hand his lightsaber and do the same arc but with more power?
no, but why would you reverse grip when you have arm guards anyway? You have guards on that sword that prevent you from, getting hit in the hand. But if you flip the sword backwards, those guards aren't going to help you anymore. If anything, you're just going to stab yourself in the forearm with them.
Obviously, he kind of forgot about the guards.
Yeah. You have to keep your wrist tilted in such a way that your thumb is always your thumb and forefinger are pointing outwards. If you turn your hand inwards, you're just going to stab yourself on the inside of your forearm.
I guess Kendo Ren just forgot about the arm guards. He forgot about the Iron Fleet.
Rey parries, but he immediately brings his blade back around, only to be stopped by the Force, which held his blade from completing its motion.
Okay, is this what people do in these fight choreographies? They just describe what's happening without explaining anything?
God.
Apparently.
No, why would you explain
Just like last
things?
time where he's like, then there's this shot, and then there's this shot.
Yeah. Like, he's just saying things that are there without making an explanation of why these things are good. Like, I know this is something that some people accuse Mauler of saying, oh, well, he's just he's saying things that are in the film. It's like, no, Mauler actually says what's in the film, and then he'll explain why that is good or why that is bad, unless it is so bad that he says that's just silly. But
Yeah.
often he'll make an argument. This is not
Yeah.
making an argument. This is just saying, then this happens, and 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 this happens, then this happens, and this
he's
happens,
saying
and
a
that just
couple
goes on
things,
14 minutes.
He's not substantiating on it.
Yeah. You need to actually, make an argument, explain shit, and this is one of the biggest problems we come across on this fucking stream. People don't make arguments. You think they would. You think that they would make an argument and they would reference something and explain, and then we could have a conversation about it, maybe a discussion, but no, we don't get that. We just hear it's good, it's subjective, it's good, then this happens, that happens, it's good, and you don't get to say anything else. There's no discussion, no debate. These are demons, obviously.
Yeah, I don't think we're going to get very... Like, this has been 9.5 minutes, and I heard one term used, and it was used improperly.
We could save the rest till next time and maybe throw another video in if we get through it quickly.
I don't think we need to continue. I think this is pretty vapid as usual, so...
Yeah.
ATATChan will call us bad before only watching 2/3 of it.
Oh, yeah, we're giving him... was it unfair shake? What's the term? Disingenuous? We're disingenuous. Who's going to watch it?
We owe it to him for reasons.
It's a bad video, buddy. You're just describing what's on the frickin' screen.
Also, if she freezes with her with the Force and he can't move his lightsaber, can't she just thrust forward with her free hand?
There's so many things you can do with the Force. It's insane, and they don't do anything in these movies.
You think someone, would on like what we talk about and say, hey, look, maybe these people actually have a point on what they're saying about my video. Maybe I should listen to them. It's like, no.
You realize that's why he's done this, right? He said Kylo, he's given some explanation for why Kylo wants to take Rey alive, and that explanation sits within third-party book version of this film. And that is going to be used as an excuse for why Kylo doesn't take advantages when Rey is like clearly open. And that's why he doesn't capitalize. So instead of it's just sloppy choreography, and they're just not very good at making it look like they're putting up a formidable defense or offense. But the problem is you can't do that the other way around. If Kylo's wide open, what's the reason for Rey not doing something? So Rey's wide open. Kylo doesn't want her to turn her to the dark side. It was in the novel. Okay, so Kylo's wide open. Why doesn't Rey stab her? I don't know, Dyad.
Yeah, I think we should stop right here. I'm not really feeling it, and
there's no outrage here. It's not like Maggie May Fish or Patrick.
This is so ridiculous. You have to keep watching.
Well, let me just try to what outrage out. It's like, no, I can't. I know. Sorry, I can't.
Putting me to sleep, man.
Yeah,
sleepy.
I'll watch the rest of it on my own time.
Yeah,
but it'll be for morbid curiosity more than anything else.
All right, here's a super chat from Andrew Clark. Thank you again. Watch Studio Binder's video on the TLJ throne room. I think I did a few months ago. It was actually fairly well cut. I don't think it was a very good video, because they're talking about. I think Glib would get off on it because of all the use of cameras, and they describe it. So it's more cinematographic than it is fight choreography. So we could.
Yeah. If we want to do behind the scenes stuff, I can find some good timestamps for the Battle of the Bastards Dragon Demands video so that we don't have to spend all day watching it.
Right. Okay, guys. Well, I think that's 3 hours of... well, we had fun. We enjoyed ourselves. We had a good time. We always do.
Hell yeah. Oh, yeah. We came up with a really interesting show where Palpatine is just doing minutia and being evil about it.
Again, our tangents are so much better than the fucking videos we cover.
Well, I don't know.
I swear.
I think Maggie was really... I mean, that was... People saying it's the worst thing we've ever covered. And that says a lot.
No, she's pretty bad.
Yeah,
she's pretty bad.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things
Like,
I wouldn't say the worst, though, which is pretty bad.
ATATChan was worse, I think.
Okay, that was intellectually painful. Like... It's like you're listening to someone explain arithmetic, and he's like, well, 2 minus 5 is divided by 4 negative. You're like, wait, what? What do you... Is that math? Is that numbers? What did you just say? It's almost hard to interpret.
I don't think we're obligated to put ourselves through torture that we don't want to endure. So, too bad for ATATChan.
Yeah. Kind of didn't I tell you, LiteratureDevil, I am not a man prone to hyperbole, and I said... She's worse than Patrick.
Oh yeah, she's definitely worse than Patrick.
Yeah. I do think that Glib, you would get so much of a kick out of seeing the incompetence of the Battle of the Bastards, of like what was happening behind the scenes.
I still haven't really watched Game of Thrones past season 5. I watched that. I didn't watch 6, 7, or 8 because they just everything that I saw made me go, no, No, thank you.
I don't even think we need to see the Battle of the Bastards.
No, you don't. That's the nice thing. The director actively had to fight them and say no and go behind their back and deliberately do the opposite of what they were asking him to do.
Because Game of Thrones was more of a show like it's about drama, interpersonal connections, and things like that. Not so much the battles. So we even had that. There's a very nice example of very beginning of when the war starts and Robb Stark is like leading the army, and we just go to the aftermath of the battle with the Lannisters, and they captured Jaime Lannister. They don't need to see the battle. That would have been busy work. What we need to do is see the results of it.
So there's actually an interesting story. They actually admitted at the Austin Film Festival that they were actually undershot season 1, and they had to go back later and film like little stuff like the Cersei and Robert conversation. That was something they wrote at the end, near the end of production, because they were under the episode time limit. I'm minimum.
All right, gentlemen, I think we're exhausted ourselves on this video. Thanks for coming along on this wonderful journey of nothing and projection. I guess I always call it projection. It seems to be the only thing that we ever cover is people projecting their ideas onto the screen as opposed to the other way around. So
yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. But yeah, we have a whole slew of videos that Dunn threw at me, and there's about 20 of them. So I don't know which one we're going to cover. Maybe if you guys find something that you like, that you find within this month, or maybe the last month that came out, we just missed, that would be cool to cover. We'll be happy to take a look at it. But boy, we got just weeks and weeks full of content.
We could pick a video each to cover and then put it on Twitter and be like, hey, which one do you want us to do first?
Yeah, we could do some voting on Twitter. That could work too, yeah.
Or one thing that sometimes in another Discord server that I do, basically we put up a suggestion and then we just have the chat react with emojis, a different emoji for each one.
Right.
Another Dub, are you cheating on us, Dunn?
No.
Another Discord server, how dare you? I thought I was the only one.
You would have chosen one.
I thought I was the only one. George Takei.
Oh.
Alrighty then.
Yes. Well, thanks guys for tuning in. We'll talk soon. And any suggestions, leave them in the suggestions section of the Discord, or when this video finishes baking, leave them in the comments. Thanks for listening, and we'll talk to you guys very soon. Good night.
Mm-hmm.